Hello.
Hey,
Hello, Me-Meechie.
hey Emma, hey my love.
Okay.
Um, why do
So,
women
can I ask where you got that photo from in the background?
the photo in the background?
Yeah,
What you mean?
the black woman and the black woman, the black man,
Uh, the black woman.
and the black man. Where'd you get that photo from?
Just I mean, like pictures are everywhere, So I just went to Google and
Woman yelling at man. I think it might be AI.
Well, yeah. Why do women always blame men and never take accountability?
I'm not quite sure. I don't know all women. Do you?
I didn't say all, did I?
But it says, why do women always blame
Yeah,
men
always. Like
and never. So that's all I'll say. Always and never. That you're kind of insinuating all. Sorry.
what is that background? Let me ask you a question. What is that background?
Um, what are you talking about?
On your end, what is the background noise that I hear?
Sorry, I'll turn it down, Mr. Michi.
No, it was just a question. But yeah,
Red Hot Chili Peppers. Because apparently, like, women always blame men, and, like, I blame Red Hot Chili Peppers for even, like, causing all the ruckus. That's why I gotta turn them down. Because I blame all men and they're causing a ruckus. Like, Me-Meechie, like, this is the second time I've seen you. Like, and I'm not even trying to be rude, but the first time I hopped on with you, you started off by saying, I'm gonna be honest, I've just not had good luck with women, or you mentioned, here's exactly what you mentioned. You mentioned that women have treated you wrong and
did
done
I?
bad things to you, and I said I'm really sorry that that happened to you.
Did I say
And
that?
yeah, you did. You like vented to me a little bit.
I don't think I
And
did.
that's why I'm wondering if maybe you have a distorted view because you've been in a lot of toxic relationships. And I think a lot of people have been in toxic relationships, but not um people that don't take accountability. Can I tell you what kind of people don't take accountability? Women and men and non-binary fucking people, the transgender people, like all kinds of people, black people, white people, Asian people don't take accountability. So I think it's a little hypocritical to come on here and say, why do women always and never accountability when I'm sure one time in your life you have failed. We have all lacked accountability and then gotten to it later, or lacked accountability. So, whether you were a child or adult, so I think I'm being pretty mature here, and I really don't have much else to say. And if you really try and argue that, well,
Yeah,
you're
because
just kind of immature then, because like
I'm not. I'm
honestly,
disagreeing with it
though,
because men take accountability.
all men and women,
I didn't say all. I said men take
women
accountability.
don't take accountability. Because I just took a shit ton of accountability today.
Like what? When?
I don't need to get into that with you.
See, and right now at this point, I don't think you're
That's
taking.
not, it doesn't regard you.
No, 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 no. I'm just saying is for the
That's all
question
I'm
though.
saying. You've
Nah,
definitely taken accountability at school, right? Same. A lot of girls actually take accountability at school when they get in trouble Or maybe they have to take accountability at home because they have siblings and they get in trouble. So I promise you, if you're talking about relationship wise, it's the same way. A lot of women take accountability for being wrong, and guys do too.
In
Like,
general, but we know women, they point the finger at men a lot. They
right.
always flip it on men.
Where are you getting this information? I have explained to you multiple times that everybody takes accountability and doesn't take accountability. I know one type of every single person that has not and has
Now,
taken accountability,
now see, you
man
said
and
every
woman.
single. You
And
said,
you are continuously trying to say that women hardly ever take accountability and they always like to blame and point the finger on men. Where are you getting this from? You are a grown man. I'm gonna let you go here shortly. Tell me where you're getting that from. Social media, truly. And I feel bad for you. You're
I'm
getting that from
saying,
social media. You have no facts to
I'm
back that
getting
up.
it. I'm getting it from you. I'm getting it from a lot of women. Just yeah, like you said it. Social media. It don't matter if it's movies, TV shows. It don't matter. It's a part of life. Women always point the finger at men. And see, for example, Emma allowed her to join and she didn't take accountability. And I love women. But at the end of the day, I'm being honest. They don't take accountability. They don't take accountability. It is what it is. I got all night. I'm chilling. I got all night. It is what it is. And this is what women do. Like every time when it's on women, when a topic is about women, and when a question is about women, they deflect. They point at the men. They just they do all type of shit, and they avoid accountability. It's crazy. And I take accountability. Like how my lives keep being restricted and I keep being suspended. So I'm taking accountability. And this is the change. I'm not going for the bullshit. I'm not going for the bullshit. And I'm gonna make up for my suspension. I'm gonna go 10 hours straight in this bitch or 15 hours. I'm just getting started.
Hello.
Hey,
I would like to answer your prompt, if that's okay.
please do.
Okay. I would say because men say that they're leaders of their like communities and relationships, so like it's a pro and con to that. If everything's going good and copacetic, like the pro is that you're leading and that means that you're doing very good. But if something's going wrong, then that means that not all the times, but there might be a problem in something that you're doing. Um so I think like naturally in any position, I think leaders or when things go wrong are always um the first, people that get the fingers pointed at.
So let's just say if you're fucking up in a relationship or marriage and you're fucking up as a mother, right? You would still point the finger at the man?
No, like I said, like not all the times is this going to like correspond to reality that this is the case. I'm just saying that it might be a case. That's why I said at the end, it might be the case that there might be something that you're doing wrong.
Because accountability, it goes a long way across the board. And we know women, they always they point the finger at men. Like they always society. And for example, when Kamala Harris lost the presidential election, what they do? They didn't take accountability. Kamala Harris didn't take accountability. They point the finger and they say, "Oh, men are what's that word? Misogyny, or misogynistic, whatever." Uh, it's just women. They don't take accountability. It don't matter if they lose, if they've been proven wrong in a debate or just overall conversation. It's just they always point the finger at a man. I don't know why.
Oh, did you send me a camera invite? Um, but yeah. Like I said, I don't think like all the times it's going to be the case that like if something's going wrong that it's going to be your fault, but it definitely deserves if something is going wrong is an internal look at your worldview or things that are going on that you're doing. Um, I am married. As far as your question specifically about her being a mother, if she is being a bad mother, I would say like it depends on the level of severity. Now, if she's just like super tired lately, maybe talk to her, see if like she needs a nap or something like that. But if it's like abuse, obviously that's a totally different situation. But I assume it's something like small that you're talking about, um, like I don't know, just like falling asleep or just lazy day around the house or something like that. I don't know.
Just across the board, yes. Like just I'm just saying anything, like her being fired at her job. Like women always point the finger. They don't take accountability.
What exactly do you think women should take accountability for, like specifically?
Just anything like if they lose at a game or once again, if they're being proven wrong in a conversation, the Kamala Harris situation, just like just overall, just take accountability if you get fired from a job, if you don't get the job on a job interview, like take accountability. So I'm talking about just overall. They always point a finger. They point the finger at a man. Like when the marriage, yeah, for example, breakups. 9 times out of 10, I would easily say 10 times out of 10, but I'm gonna be humble. 9 times out of 10, women always point the finger. So that's what I'm talking about. Like from an overall standpoint, they always point a finger at a man.
Sure, I could see that possibly being the case, yeah. Do you think that it is the truth that there possibly, like current day society, that there could be like a lot of the things I hear men complain about often do wrap around back to the males in the community. So like are there any like big cuz I don't know about like games or things like that, but um you guys are so funny. Guys are so funny. I will say that. It's so funny. Um that's something my brother would have said to me. That's funny. Um Okay, yeah. It's just a lot of the issues I do see today that's a complaint against women. I do see a lot of them do wrap around to like it being on the both like parties, but typically I am a moderate person, like even politically I'm an independent, so and I do like my framework comes from bioethics, so it's just I think like typically I think there in any issue there's going to be problems on both sides. So I don't know. I think they just kind of correlate typically.
So you're saying 50-50.
Yeah, I think most like problems, at least marital problems or a lot of divorce problems that we see statistically, I think are dualistic problems. Yeah.
And see, right there, I mean, I respect your answer, right? I respect it. But the accountability factor, like you brought up divorce. Women, obviously not all, but a lot, a lot of women file for a divorce. So men want to stay in a marriage. It don't matter if he cheated. It don't matter if he's, I don't want to, can I say that A word, abuse? No, I don't want to say that word. I don't want to risk it. But if they're harmful, if they're being harmed, if they're harming the woman in a marriage or the relationship, he still is there. He don't want to leave. He don't he don't want to break up. So the woman have to take accountability for divorces and breakups. Onyx, what up?
What's up, brother? Good to see y'all.
Um, Kata, what's your take on that? And then I'm gonna go to my boy Onyx.
Yeah, I think that's kind of crazy. You just described a man being abusive to his wife, um, and then saying that her filing for divorce is like she's wrong because at least the man wants to stick together even though he's abusing her. I would assume so because he has like a free for all punching bag, but like that's like insane work. My husband would never. I think that's crazy, but yeah.
But it's the thing though. What if what if your husband have that moment, right? And you hit him first, right? And your husband handle his business, you just say politely, respectfully, he'll give you a backhand. So you just say he give you a backhand, right? You fall down. So you telling me that backhand he gave you, you're
Be
gonna
right
file
back.
for a divorce?
Absolutely, and I'm getting my brother.
Exactly.
And I'm
See,
getting my brother. That's
exactly.
that's
Accountability.
insane.
Accountability for
How is that
him.
accountability? What
Listen,
are you talking
him giving
about?
you a backhand is not worth a divorce, my love. It's not.
Yes, it is. He's a man
Wow.
smacking his wife. That's
That's
insane.
that's his right to hit back because he's been hit.
Oh, no, I didn't. No, I
You
wouldn't
missed
say
that
hit.
part. You missed that part.
Oh, yeah, I didn't hear that. Yeah, like she shouldn't. Yeah, but like I
Right.
take it, like I said, a dualistic mind. Yeah, so like she shouldn't hit him. So like I wouldn't do that though.
Right. That's why I said what it. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like if you hit your husband, right, and if he give you a backhand, it's not worth a breakup or a divorce by him defending himself and
I
his
mean,
freedom and his respect.
the way like my brothers were raised, like I have six brothers. I come from a big family, so like the way my mom and dad raised them is like if a woman comes at you, like try to restrain her, like only actually like hit or otherwise unless necessary. But yeah, I do agree that both sides should not be hitting each other. Like I don't put my hands on men personally because like I just don't want to be put in that position. But yeah.
I wouldn't say both sides shouldn't be. Hit sounds like a violent word intended to harm someone, right? A man disciplining his wife isn't the same thing as hitting his wife, right? A hit is there to damage. So a discipline is usually a palm applied to her bottom or her legs, something disciplinary designed to correct her behavior, never to harm your wife. So I don't think that all physical uh, physical touch is going to be considered abuse. Just throwing it out
Okay.
there.
Okay, so for one, even of
But
children, even what you're describing is harm. So like it's just going to be a physical form of harm. It's just going to be something that like causes damage or otherwise to like the skin or like the physical entity, and you would be doing that when you spank someone across their bottom. Nonetheless,
Well,
this is just
Keita,
like,
that's more of a
wait,
female
wait,
issue.
wait,
If
hold
you would
on,
just
wait.
be a
But
mature
as far
adult
as
in
like
your
you
marriage, your
spanking, can I
husband wouldn't have to
finish?
discipline
Can
you.
you be a gentleman?
I
Can you be
mean, well,
traditional?
no,
Can you
because
be
I wasn't even
traditional?
finished talking.
Okay,
I
so
would
this is
like to
not
finish
tradition. I
actually
wasn't
answering
done
the. I would
talking. I
like to
wasn't
finish
done.
answering the prompt. I
Okay,
wasn't
I'll
done
let you go.
talking.
Ladies first. I'll let you go. You go ahead, girlfriend.
I'm not going to launch any attacks back on you, but why do women always blame men and never take accountability? Because women are children until the day they pass away. Doesn't matter how mature you think she is. At the end of the day, she's always going to skirt responsibility. She has to blame someone other than herself. When you speak to most women, all they do is lie, deny, deceive, and deflect. They
Okay,
lie, deny,
we get
deceive,
it.
and deflect.
He's
And the
Adam
only time a
himself. He
woman
got
tells the
betrayed by
truth,
Eve. This
look
dude
at
acting
her.
like he
Now
got kicked
listen
out of
to
the
her.
garden
This is
himself.
literally this is her tactic to
Who are you guys
interrupt, to deceive,
dating?
to
Like,
deflect.
Kata,
okay,
please,
but
like, let
anyways,
Onyx
And
finish.
another
back to the
Let
like,
deflection.
Onyx, wait, Kata, Kata. I mean, like, I
it's
can't.
Kita.
Kita, okay, my bad. Let Onyx finish, please, my love, and then it's your turn to reply.
Okay,
So
all
lie,
right.
deny, deceive, and deflect. And the only time a woman tells the truth is if she believes the truth can be used to hurt you in that isolated situation. So you can't have a straightforward conversation with any woman because to hear something truthful is to hurt her. The truth hurts women. All right, Cola or Kita.
Okay. As far as the disciplining your wife, again, I don't think you still have to make an argument. You're just making the positive claim that you should be able to spank your wife. I'm asking for the argument that leads to that conclusion.
Happily. So one thing I notice is that women see men who speak to them, who communicate with them verbally, as weak men. But
I'm
men who
asking
put
for the
hands on
argument.
women are,
I need
excuse me,
premises.
Kita, give it a second. But men who put their hands on women, those are men that women chase. They respond very well to. They'll stay with this man for the rest of his life. My parents are the perfect example. When she hasn't been touched in a physical way, in a disciplinary way for a while, she went bonkers. And my dad would hit her and or discipline her. My dad would discipline her, and she would act right for weeks on end. And it's only when she hasn't been physically discipline that she became a wild woman. And I see those same traits in almost every single woman here in America. They become wild, impulsive women when no one puts their hands on them. Women are primitive by nature, they're not sophisticated, they're primitive. So, touch is required for her to really accept your leadership.
Okay, my husband doesn't. Again, this is not going to be an argument. I'm asking for premises that lead to this conclusion. You're just saying this is what corresponds to reality, which I don't see this. I've never been hit by a man in my life.
Yeah, my
Maybe like
goal is to
a.
get
Can
you
I
to
please
accept my
finish?
truth.
Can I please finish? Can we have mutual respect? The host told me to let
You
you finish.
can.
Yeah,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah,
I'm
Okay.
not
yeah.
stopping you.
Finish.
So as far as maybe like a boy or two in kindergarten, maybe something goofy like that, but me and my husband get along just fine. He thinks I'm pretty goofy. And most time I am being pretty goofy around the house, and he never quote unquote disciplines me. You don't need a connection. In fact, that would cause a huge disconnection between the two of you.
Why do you keep bringing up
Nor
you
would
and your
I
husband?
nor would I'm just saying, like, my framework, I highly disagree with this, nor are you providing an argument like this. You're just saying,
Who said I was here to encourage you to see things my way? Live your
well,
life
you
the way
said
you
I
want to.
asked you to provide an argument earlier, and you said
I
gladly, and
gave
then
you
you
my
just went on this
argument. You just
long
didn't care for
monologue.
the argument.
Now you're saying you gave me an argument, but you just said that you didn't have to give me an argument. So did you give me one or did you not? You're not even sure?
You're trying to frame this entire dialogue as the goal is to convince you. I'm not here to convince you. I can answer a question here or there, but my goal isn't to convince you of anything. You're not my wife. If you was my wife, I would have been disciplined you by now.
No,
You're not my wife. So what you believe in doesn't matter to me.
the convincing me is not of a debate. When you're having an objective debate, I know you're trying to get like views and things like that, but when you're having an objective debate, when you make a positive claim as a man, you're supposed to be a man of your word. At least that's what my father taught me. So you should be able to demonstrate how that your positive claim
You can't tell me
corresponds to
what I'm
reality and is
supposed to
true.
do. You don't
So I'm
dictate
asking for
anything
the
to me.
argument. So you're
You
just
can
running. This
ask
is
me
very
what you want, but you
cowardly.
don't
After
dictate anything
You
for me.
wait, as a man, you're saying this is what men should do, but you can't back up the proposition?
Stop beginning your sentences with "as a man." You don't know
Yes,
what a
as a
man is.
man, you can't give
You're
an
not a
argument for the
man.
propositions that you're saying,
You can only
and that's
speak
very
from your own
weak-minded.
personal perspective. You
I was
can't
raised by
dictate
a
anything
man
for me.
who lived through segregation, raised 12 kids. I know a strong man when I see one and hear one. That's not one who makes a positive claim and then can't give you the argument as to why you should follow suit in that. That's what a leader does. So, can you give me the argument?
wait. After Onyx like answer the question is on knowledge because knowledge been waiting.
Sorry, knowledge.
No,
Whenever you're ready, knowledge, you got
no,
it,
no,
brother.
no, no, Onyx. You can answer her question, but like after you answer her question, then it's on knowledge.
Okay, so I already answered her question. She's looking for something more than my rationale, and
Oh,
I can't give it to you because you don't like what I have to say. So you're not going to accept anything.
Do you know what an argument is? Can you give me a definition? I'm convinced you just don't know what I'm asking of you.
knowledge is on you.
Oof.
Uh, why do women always blame men and never take accountability? It's a lot of different reasons and factors. Over the course of history, they feel as though a lot of them feel, not all, a lot of them feel as though they were let down or they were misled or because they took their own actions into their own hands on certain things. And then they've been pushed into this diagram now where a lot of them feel as though they're independent and so educated that they don't need a man, and that's incorrect because they're still going out, opening their body to another man, which doesn't make sense. So why don't you just figure out how to have a conversation, take accountability, and listen? And a lot of them were taught to be catered to in a lot of different demographics and ways that aren't natural to our being on this earth. We weren't taught how to cater to just them. We were taught how to cater to each other. Everybody on this earth, each one teach one. But predominantly, most of them only think that they're supposed to be catered to. Yeah, you're powerful. Yeah, you carry our seeds. Yeah, you have these things. But a lot of the accountability that hasn't been taken is a problem in our diagram and dynamic because it's leading into the star seeds, which are the sons and daughters that are actually out here on this earth now because they don't want to take the accountability and they're showing that their babies shouldn't have to take accountability. And then some of the men ain't stepping up as well. So it goes into different factors.
I think that's like kind of analytically shallow, but I guess.
Why do you say so?
Yeah, because again, I think it's more of a dualistic problem. For one, like again, the statistics, at least the divorce rates, as far as like marriage is concerned, a big chunk of it is going to be financial. I'll agree that like yes, I do think like women or like have bought into like consumerism and do like more traditional things like me and my husband do that and it saves a lot of money, but also, I would also say that a lot of men have lost their hustle, their drive, things like that. Like a lot of men claim to be providers and protectors. Most men are out of shape and cannot even protect. So, and or
Hold on.
provide
I'm
because
not
most
trying to cut
house,
you
well,
off because I'm being rude. I'm cutting you off because
well, it seems like
you
you
asked
guys
me a
keep cutting me
no.
out,
I'm cutting you off
though.
because you asked me a question that I asked you the rebuttal about and you didn't. You said that it was shallow answer. I said, why is it a shallow answer? And you went on to describe everything else about other people that I didn't
No,
talk.
I'm telling you why your answer is analytically shallow is because it doesn't include all of this. So I would agree that somewhat, yeah, like women do not take responsibility, of course. And that's why I said women do like have bought into consumerism and things like that. The wigs, the nails, things like that. Like this is just a picture. I just wear my natural hair and things like that. But Yeah, but I do think that there is part of it is on like men's fault as well. So I think it's analytically shallow, and I was telling you why I think it's analytically shallow.
I was just going off the prompt that said why do women blame men and never take accountability. So I was just answering that question first. That's all.
I think if you create an environment where there's no negative consequences for doing inherently negative things, reproducing out of wedlock, being a bad mother, stuff like that, women are always going to choose evil. I think that women, their source seems to be darkness and deception. They are stimulated when they do things they don't supposed to do. That's children. Children are stimulated when they do things that they don't supposed to do. We were never supposed to give women full autonomy.
Well,
Go ahead, brother. What were you saying?
I would say actually in history, like most women have like again, like it is a man's world, like the song says, but it wouldn't be anything if we didn't have women. So I think most women have been like while you guys are fighting the wars, albeit like that's amazing, but human society would just cease to exist without women in general. So I don't think that like I think you guys highly underestimate what women do. But as far as like being at home and things, like I don't think women choose to rebel. I think it's been years of like women being abused at home, so they just want more security when they're going into these relationships, which I don't blame them for. And I think a man that truly wants to take care of you and do right by you has no problem doing right off the bat. My husband didn't either, so I don't think that's a problem.
And whenever I see women like voting in mass or they're marching or they're doing any form of protesting, it's always for the right to be nude in public or it's for the right to unalive their own babies. I think, what is it? Half a
True.
billion children has been escorted within the past few years, maybe 10 or 15 years, something to that effect.
Um,
It's genocide. Women
yeah,
have
I'm
genocided babies in mass, and every woman seems to feel like that's okay. It's all right because she has the power of choice.
yeah,
Meanwhile, there are
again,
men who are ducking and dodging child support the best way they can, and they call those men what? Deadbeat dads. Deadbeat. I'm the deadbeat, and you're the schmurderer. You schmurdered that baby. I just didn't want a baby with scum like you, right? So it's like, who's really the deadbeat? Because I didn't unalive anyone, and I'm not the person with 32 forms of birth control, Plan B, and adoption. You are. And you decided, I'm not going to take these pills. I'm not going to use that patch. I'm not putting this baby up for adoption. What would be the right thing to do? I'm going to unalive the baby.
okay.
That's female psychology for you.
Okay, so personally, as a speaking as a female, I'm an anti-abortionist. I don't hold any exceptions for abortion, and I definitely don't dress like a hoe when I go outside. That's gross. But yeah, I do think like women do engage in abortion, but again, this is a dualistic problem. If you look into the statistics and things like that, there are a number of men and a number of cases of men spiking women's drinks with AB pills, coercing them into abortions, even abusing them into abortions, things like that. So yeah, I do think that they are absolutely psychotic with all the baby unaliving, but the whole reason abortions are even in the country is because a lot of men brought it over to America and even produced it in America with the help of some women. So again, a dualistic problem.
Yeah, you know that the same women that you're saying, it was the exact same women who made it. They helped Mr. Plecker out, change the demographic, and a lot of other things that push you into a narrative right now to say you're educated. You know that, right?
I don't know what you mean by that. Uh, I don't know if you think assuming I've gone to
For
college or
no, no, no. I'm just saying for integration or anything like that, and the changing of this was a gynecologist, right? That was a male, and a white male at that, and then he got a black woman to help him out because he knew that she would be the easiest way to grab and pull everybody in.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So for one, as a black, like you guys are, as a black woman, like dressing like a hoe, abortions, and then the study of gynecology in general in America was just horrific for black women. So I don't know why you guys are Yeah, I would agree these are all problems, but again, this is going to be a dualistic problem. You're just literally admitting to that by saying a man, a white man and a black woman. This is going to be a dual. Like this is not proving. This is proving my point.
No, this is very well proven both points, right? I give you what you're saying, but yours is on a minuscule level, where ours is on a maximum level, on the most highest level, because at the end of the day, you have to think about it like this. That very well thing caused you guys to get your hair straightened, start having you wearing false makeup, it start having you going to other people to learn that and teaching them about everything that we had over here, and also signing yourself over to Uncle Sam and making yourself a military agent and giving away the
Okay.
men.
You
Again,
know,
I
there's
don't
another
wear.
aspect of dodging accountability that we should pay attention to.
No, I
Yes, they
just
lie, deny,
genuinely.
deceive, and deflect. That's a real statement. But part of deflecting is also ad hominem attacks and gaslighting. Women love to pretend like they don't understand what you just said or they don't know a fact that you just brought up. And a lot of times they need you to cite something, even though we know it's common knowledge that no, like most black children, for example, are born out of wedlock. I think 80% or something like that. And most women don't even try to get married. They don't even live with the men they thought they
Do you want me to go wake
have
my
children by.
husband up? Like he has work tomorrow,
So it's
but
another thing women do is they keep relating things back to themselves personally when we're talking about the general situation. I don't know why you keep bringing up your husband. I don't know why you keep bringing up your
right,
life. I do not know
because
you or your husband. That has nothing to do with this conversation.
you
Why do
guys are
you
just like,
personalize everything we're talking about?
well, because for one, you guys were making it personal earlier, and then now you're switching to a more objective stance, so
At
that's
no
like
point did I make
confusing.
this personal.
Can I finish? And then secondly, it's just kind of all over the place. Like you guys are now talking in race and things like that when it's supposed to stay on men and women. Like you guys have actually done this quite a lot, is go all over the place. So it's kind of
I'm speaking to the
confusing.
prompt, ma'am. I'm
Well, it's
literally
technically
speaking to the
about women.
prompt.
It's
But the
technically about
reason
women.
why, I keep pointing these things out is because I'm saying that I'm none of those things that you're describing, and I still believe in an even from an unbiased stance that it's a dualistic problem. Like even marriage, even amongst the black community, sure, I would agree that there's a lot of baby mama culture, but that's on both sides. Like we're just not like we've lost our culture of like dating and things like that. Yeah, I would say that's definitely a problem. Yeah, but like you're just pointing to all do like I don't get
You
this.
see that long line of deflection? Like you said, you use 1,000 words to say a lot of nothing. You're just filling in air. Like none of your.
Okay.
Give me one point that you want to raise against that prompt there. Just your own opinion, not trying to deconstruct anything anyone else is saying. Just give
Yeah,
me your
because I
own
think
argument, your own point, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, because I think a lot of these problems are going to because we're going it's a partnership in a relationship. Because I just come from a stance of bioethics. Yeah, they're going to be intrinsically linked when it comes to any problems or solutions. So both parties are going to blame each other, but especially women, because men have the quote unquote reputation as being like leaders and things like that, which I would agree that they are. But I will also agree that women are leaders, but that's a long framework. I won't get into that. But that's why I would disagree with that. That's the only point I would make to that.
All right, but I want to ask you a serious question, right? Because, well, let me just get to it. Why do married women, instead of answering the questions like a married woman should and being respectful and not pushing their whole entire agenda into the front of the scene, um, instead just answer the exact question without like making it more impactful or meaningful, like your relationship is going to change everybody else's perspective on life, right? And not saying you, but I'm just saying in general, why do married women do that a lot?
I would say like typically they're either giving you a framework and you probably just like room temp IQ probably just like don't grasp the concept, but that's totally okay.
Okay, okay. So
I
let
think.
let me ask. Oh,
Oh,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, knowledge. Please continue, brother. No, no, no.
Oh
You're
no,
good.
I was gonna say. So since that is the case, why do most of them still push all of their attention into giving their attention to other men instead of their actual man?
Well, one, their man is sleep. Two, they're bored and they like philosophy, so they like to give frameworks and debate. So whether it's feminism, sexism, or racism, I like to
I'm
debate.
sorry. You did it again.
I
Like
told
everyone
you.
knows, everyone knows that you're referring to me. I'm just gonna answer. Like, are you mad that I'm not gonna pussyfoot around? Like,
I
are you
wasn't
are?
referring. I said at the beginning.
We're a
This is
little too
not
old for this.
referring to you. This is an actual general question that I'm asking for the masses, not you. Are you able to get
Well,
what,
if
sir?
I had to say, that would be
Yeah,
my
go ahead.
best answer. How's that?
Oh, so
You,
boredom or the partner sleep.
Like I said, it would probably be because the partners sleep, and they like philosophy and they like to debate, so they're just looking for debates.
Oh, so you skipped the boredom. Yeah, yeah, not
If
tonight in
someone
the
can't
AM.
sleep, yeah, they'd probably be bored and they would probably want to get a debate in, yeah, until they're sleepy, yeah.
Okay. I just want to know if that. I just want to keep doing it to you just to
Do
mess
you
with
want
you,
me? Do you want me
so
to
I can
wake them
listen to
up
you know,
or?
No, I just
on
wanted
the
to listen to
topic
the
of
afterwards.
marriage,
That's all.
Okay.
I think we should talk about that briefly because it represents what's really wrong and what's happening in today's society. Marriage is, was it? Women are filing for like roughly 80% of divorces are filed by women, something to that effect. And if you take marriage out of it, about the same comes from women just breaking up regular relationship. You know, I don't want to be in this relationship you anymore, and it's often because they're just not interested. They're not invested. They're not interested anymore, or they're bored. Boredom is behind a lot of what women are doing. So if we can just look at marriage, we see that women don't value long-term relationships. They don't value marriage. Women typically they just don't value they don't even take their vows seriously. They don't mean
Uh,
what they say ever. You know, that's one thing I've noticed. So in order for a woman to stay invested in a relationship long enough to build and maintain a family long term, she has to have a situation where she's not allowed to just walk away from the situation. As long as she's allowed to walk away, especially if she's, you know, she's incentivized financially to walk away, they're going to walk away. Women are not in it forever because they live in a moment. Their feelings are all that really, I guess, exists for them. So when they get bored, they go with the boredom. Time to destroy my family. Bye. I have to put my happiness first. Even above their own family, their happiness comes first. So that's why we actually need to implement some of these old rules that we had. We have to get rid of some of the new legislation. No more divorce, no more alimony, no more child support, no more division of property, no more working, no more pursuit of education. I don't see the benefit in sending women to college. I don't see the benefit in letting women have jobs outside of the home or outside of her husband's business. I don't think these were good decisions. We're suffering because of it. We don't have families anymore in America because of it. Women have entirely too much autonomy.
so as far as like, there's a lot there. As far as like I said in the comments, no working. Okay, men are gonna have to start focusing on more than just feminism because the economy is not going to allow that. Most households are dual income households. Most mothers are working nowadays, by the way. As well as far as the divorce rates. Just because someone files for divorce, and I'm going to keep this fair, whether they're male or female, that doesn't mean that that's the cause or that they are the cause of said divorce. If your wife cheats on you, I think that a man has the absolute 100% right to divorce his wife, and I would not say that he's the cause. That's like absolutely obtuse. Secondly, just saying that women are filing for divorce when the majority of it is financial, and then a lot of emotional and intimacy issues, um, and a lot of it is literacy, is a big problem, and skipping over that is only proving their point and statistically not helping men. They're literally, I would agree that they're insane, but I would say women are conditioned for marriage from a very young age, from even Disney movies. If these women are saying that they like would rather to not be tied down to majority of the men in this generation, they rather abort their own children, that's saying a lot. Like there might be an issue on both ends. Like that just might be the case.
I disagree with that.
Yeah, you got it,
Okay,
brother.
what's the argument, I guess?
You said on both. It's just the excuses that women make. They always say their body, their choice. So if they wanna, we can say abortion, right? Can we say that
Yeah,
word?
yeah, you can say
Yes, sir.
abortion on
You can
TikTok.
absolutely say abortion. Most people don't know that. But yeah,
Okay.
you can say every word now. You just can't
Okay.
use it offensively.
Okay. Well, women, they make excuses. Like they always say, my body, my choice. So they have that power, that undisputed power to either save the baby or delete the baby. And that's not on a man. So that's all I want to touch on. Jazzy Love, why do women always blame men and never take accountability?
Hey everyone. Um, I was listening to them. I was in a good area. Um, I feel like women always blame men, never take accountability because they want to be equal to a man. They don't. I feel like women don't truly, really value themselves as much as they probably should, and it's easier to point fingers at somebody else than themselves. Why they don't take accountability? That's a great question. I don't know. I would like to know, but I don't know.
Okay, I would say
Wouldn't it be
everyone.
as simple as because they don't have to? We've created an environment where women don't have to suffer the consequences of many of their decisions. So wouldn't that be like the simplest answer? They don't have to take accountability, so they won't.
I mean, yeah, kinda, but that we do have consequences to our actions when we do stuff. They still gonna blame it though on the other person. Like for instance, like those was saying about the abort. There's consequences to everything that we do, whether we care to see it or acknowledge it or not. That don't mean that we don't have to take accountability. No matter who made a safe space for us to not take it, we should still want to because we should value ourselves and we should want to see our mistakes that we made and we should want to learn from that.
Okay, can you guys name me one thing that women do or dabble in that is immoral that men don't also engage in? From OnlyFans and thirst traps to ABs, you can't list one. Like this is
Properly listen to a conversation and actually know what the man actually is talking about and wants.
yeah, women
That's a
do
good
that.
valid
Acknowledge.
point.
They
I don't
may
Women
know
do
why
disagree
women
with
a
can't
lot of
admit the
women do
truth.
not do that.
They do. They may disagree with you, and that may be the contention, but they absolutely understand and hear what you guys are saying. They just adamantly say F you guys, which I think they should be
I
more
stand corrected right now
reasonable,
because you asked
but
me a
they do
question and I
listen.
answered it, and then now you're sitting here debating and trying to tell me whether or not that's true or not. When you asked
Yeah, I'm
men,
saying
not
they do
yourself.
listen to you guys. They're just saying, like, fuck you, we're pro choice. And I agree that's unreasonable. They should be more reasonable, but they do listen and hear you
Let's get a
guys. They
timer. Let's
just,
get a
And
timer.
I'm gonna disagree with
I
To
that
don't know.
answer
because
your question, I
I
definitely believe abortion's at the top of that list. Men are not the ones with 32 forms of birth control. Women have 32 forms of birth control, Plan B, and
That
adoption. But
men,
they choose to abort innocent children whenever they get that opportunity to do so. So men don't abort anything. We don't have that as an option, and we don't even have 32 forms of birth control or one form of birth control. We don't
yes, they
have a
do.
Plan
So
B
there's been
pill, and
plenty
we
of
can't
cases
decide
of
if the child
men
is put up for adoption.
flipping the
You have all
abortion
these
pill into
options and you
women's
still want to
drinks. That's
unalive
not
children.
true. And men are very statistically very coercive with abortions. It would be both ends. They're very coercive when abortions, and again, they do slip women the pills. It's not true. As well as you said something like honestly, I'm coming to the point like this is just rage bait. Like there's no statistics involved. Like this is just pure feelings and pure like it's a lot of projection, but I'm convinced you guys are not actually happy in whatever relationships you're in. Because I don't know who's
well,
treating you like
Jazzy's
this, but
happy.
like you guys just don't have normal relationships where you come home and y'all work together and like it's always a gender war in y'all's house or
I don't think no one in here is speaking about their personal life experiences, but I think everyone's just speaking about in general the experiences that we done seen, we done been with, that we hear, like just in general speaking, not personal.
okay. And so like in general when you go out and about you don't see married couples. You don't like maybe it's because I live in like bumfuck Ohio, but I see a bunch of married couples, families, I have family in Louisiana, New York. Like where
Yeah,
are you
I see
guys?
all these couples and I
I
see a
see that.
lot of the imitation and fake on their faces and how they move and I'm a Sherlock Holmes, so I pay attention to minor details that make major actions apply. And I see a lot of people who give up their information when they talk and they invest themselves into a conversation and they bring up everything about themselves instead of the conversation.
Okay, that's great. I'm asking about like all of society at this point. Knowledge is just trying to drag it. Yeah, I'm just asking. I don't see where like this huge. I don't see it on either side. It's not talking about me. I'm just talking about in general, both genders, men and women. I don't see this like huge gender war. If anything, I just see a lack thereof of like working together and actually both sides taking, if anything, both sides taking accountability. And that was my internal critique in the first place. Like focusing on one end when both are intrinsically linked in the children and everything else. Like we see what it does with single motherhood or even single fatherhood. Like it's going to be both. I
Hey,
don't.
salute,
A
Dr.
thousand
Noah.
words to
How are
say a
you?
lot of nothing.
No, that's going to be true. Like
How y'all
even
doing?
if like if you have a children and your child gets aborted,
Hey, what's
a
going
Good
on,
lot of
Mr.
doctor.
these
Doctor
men,
All Nowhere? Great to see you, man.
a lot of these
Appreciate
men
it.
are not vetting these women and asking them, "Are you pro-choice? Do you believe in aborting your babies?" You're only looking at butt as well. Like a lot of these women are just shaking butt, but a lot of these men are just looking for butt. There is a
But what about the
dualistic
women?
problem.
All right,
It's our
we got
body
a new
though.
panelist, Kita.
Yeah,
Doctor,
I
yeah, like, what's
say,
your take on the question?
why do women always blame men and never take accountability? Okay, the only, for me, the only way I can blame a woman if that woman approached that man. If the man approached that woman, then she's going to react to whatever is being presented. I don't see just women just acting a certain way for no reason. So so her taking accountability is her and her power and letting that man in her gate because she the gatekeeper. You
Hey, do you
can't get
mind
in there
saying that
unless
again,
she lets
brother?
you
Because
in
I
there.
don't think I'm sorry, doctor. I don't think I understood what you were saying. Can you try to sum it up for me one more time? Why do you
Yeah,
think
basically,
women always blame men?
no. I'm saying basically, if the only way I can say that a woman, um, in that sense, if the woman, went over there and talked to the man, but usually it's the other way around. Is we go approach the woman, so it's like whatever we bring, that's what it's going to be. So
Okay, so
I don't
I
see
don't
her
know if that
just
answers the question. Can you what do you
yeah.
mean by that? I'm just trying to figure
Uh,
out how that fit the prompt. I could be looking at it
because
wrong.
Yeah, because you saying they never take accountability, and I'm saying the only accountability that she take is letting us in the door, and because she's the
So
gatekeeper.
women don't have full autonomy is what you're saying. It's kind of just
So
if
basically,
you
so
come on
basic,
to her, she's
so if I approach her and whatever goes from there, I approached her. So now if she approached me, and then it went left, then I can hold her accountable. But if I came to her, you know I'm not gonna look at it like I don't know. I'm just older. I look at it from a different point of
now
view.
to me
Uh,
that's not very coherent.
Yeah,
It
no
doesn't
doubt, no
really
doubt.
make sense to me. It doesn't track. So maybe
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. It
okay.
ain't supposed to
oh yeah,
because
cause I,
you approached her, so it's gonna be that way. So we gotta stand firm on that first. You know, but if you want to look at it as I approached her and then it went left from there, then I don't know. We
I,
we approached.
okay,
I
yeah.
don't
let me.
know.
I want to ask a question. I just want to say, are you saying approach like far as the initial
Yeah, the
conversation
initial,
of a
initial and
contact, or you
yeah,
mean like the
initial and
approach of the initial conversation? Period.
yeah,
Any
yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
Okay. That's I just want to make sure I
But doctor,
wasn't blanking.
can I ask you a question? Just for so I can verify what you're saying too. So if I'm a woman who I'm ready to start a family, and you out here kicking it, and you approach me, and you just saying whatever because you just want to kick it, right? And I follow behind that, and I don't do no research, no nothing. I just be like, okay, boom, I'm gonna go with him. Then that means I don't have to take accountability
I
because
said
that's
that
what.
already. I said you the
Okay, I
gatekeeper.
just
I
wanted
said
to make
that's the
sure.
first. I said that's the only thing that I'm gonna hold her accountability is because she's the gatekeeper. I said that.
Okay, I just don't agree. Okay, but I got what you're saying.
I just want to go into a little bit more deeper details just to make sure I'm not tweaking. So you saying that because you're the man and you approach her, that anything that she's doing is all counted to you.
It's a
And
reaction from me. Yes.
okay, okay, hold on. I get that. I get that part. Now, then, what about all the actions that she was implying in the midst of that situation that has to come along with it? So, do you take accountability for those things too that had nothing to do with you? Like per se, like you apologizing for somebody who punched somebody else and you ain't have nothing to do with it. You taking those actions too?
I don't get that question.
So if somebody punch you, if somebody else punch, so you with a friend,
Yeah.
say me and Onyx out and about, and you
No.
with me,
Yeah.
and you punch Onyx, and I'm supposed to take accountability because I'm your friend. I'm supposed to take accountability from that immediate because y'all didn't see eye to eye with each other. That's what you're saying? Because I brought you there, so I'm supposed to just completely solely take
Nah.
accountability when I didn't know anything of
Nah.
the matters of what's going to happen.
Nah, they gotta take accountability for going. I can't blame nobody for if I got in the car if I got in the car with somebody, and it was their fault. I can't point the finger and say, yo, this person got no, I shouldn't have got in the car. So looking at it in that point, nah. But looking at it the way I'm looking at it, I'm looking at the woman as the reaction. I only think women, we got some women that's out here, that, maneuver the V, but majority of the times, it's us that's doing the initiation, the pushing up. So anything that goes from there is a reaction. It's a reaction from us. Me personally, I don't see them, acting. I see the reacting, off of what happened, you know. That's just my point of view of what I see. You know, I could be wrong, but this is my experience. You know.
Yeah, doctor. You all wrong though,
Yeah, no doubt. I'm supposed to. I'm supposed to.
and that's beautiful because see my point exactly. See, doctor represent men take accountability. Women 9 times out of 10 they don't take accountability.
Yeah, for the gatekeeper. That's why I said she's the gatekeeper.
No,
We
like in
can't
life, period. Women they don't take accountability. I brought
only
up
for that.
earlier.
Only for that part. Far as you know, you know, not checking the, all the things beforehand before she even let me in the door. That's the only accountability from the rip. That part. Other than that, nah.
Because see, Jazzy, she's the only woman I know that takes accountability. But a lot of women, they don't take accountability.
For okay, so all right, so when we saying accountability, okay, so if we saying accountability, what is it that the accountability that we talk about? Give me an example where as though I
Anything
can.
out there in general, anything like they can be fired, they can file for a divorce or
But
a
why
breakup.
though? But why
They
is she
will
filing
always
for
point the
divorce?
finger.
But
My
why
point
is she?
exactly.
But we
She
gotta say why is she filing divorce? What I'm not doing. What am
she's
I'm
in her
not doing?
she because if she's in her emotional feelings and she filed for a divorce, like
Then you must be a foul dude then, because I don't go
I
through
ain't
that
filed.
type of stuff.
I ain't filed. I'm just talking about in
No,
general in life. Jazzy, my love, like, please like take it from her because I can't I can't get. I mean,
I think like the doctor was saying is like how you said. You walk up to a woman and whatever you say, whatever she do, from that is the reaction. So, like I was saying earlier, if we meet, me and you, and I know what I want, and you know what you want, and you walked up to me and you were just like, "Hey, what up, little mama?" I don't know what dudes would say. I'm trying to holler at you. Let's go somewhere, and I leave with you, and we do whatever. We kicking it, whatever. Now I know what I want. I want a family. I want marriage. I want whatever. I ain't even asked you none of this. I'm just going off of whatever you're doing. I'm just following you. And now I'm mad and I'm sad and I'm just happy in this relationship that we done made because I didn't ask you nothing. I ain't researched you. I don't know what you like. I don't know what you want in the future. That's my fault. That's on me because I did not sit here and
That's what I
court
said.
you
I said that. I
either
said
way.
that. I said she's the gatekeeper. That's the only thing she got to be accountable for is letting me in. I said that from the rip 1,000 times. That's the only accountability. She's the gatekeeper. I keep saying that a million times. She's the gatekeeper. She got to check everything at the door. At the door, she's supposed to check everything about me because 9 times out of 10, I'm a man. So, we lie just to get some ass. I grew out of that. So if my intentions is not to just do that, and I want, the same thing that you saying, then what is the problem? If I want a family too and you want a family too, ain't that going to be equal? But now if I'm coming just for, just want some this or you just want some money, then we both ain't meeting right there. But the point is, I'm saying is she's the gatekeeper. Like I said, so anything from the door, she got to check my ID, check my credentials, check everything before she even let me in the door. That's the only accountability that she got to have. After that, if I lie, if I'm not if she checked me and then I'm not who I'm supposed to be, hell yeah, she's supposed to get the fuck out of there. Well, get the heck out of there. Hell yeah. That's
I
the
think
only
the only
part.
way we can hold men accountable for women's actions is if we create an
Be
environment where it
real.
makes sense to do so. We should just take. This is why I tell people women don't supposed to have the same rights as us. No one wants to hold them accountable for their actions. Everyone comes up with a way to blame men for what women choose to do of their own volition. So why are we giving women the power of choice?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Leave the women and children alone, man. I gotta get out of here. Hey, yo, didn't I block you too? I blocked her, man. I just looked at your page. Why I got you blocked, Jazz?
I don't know. That's a question you gotta ask yourself for why you got me
Yeah, cause
blocked.
you
Man, what the hell going on?
What
he
in the
he, he a
world going on? I
follower
mean, he
stalker.
wasn't making sense, so I ended up tuning him out. But what was wrong with him?
The only thing I can see what he's talking about, kinda, is the fact that hold on, Corey. Is the fact that men, if they aren't steadily on their grind, like on their structure and their chaos, and show that woman directly that she will run all over you with the delusion of anything that she wants.
I mean, I agree with that, but the lion's share of what he was talking about, I feel like it didn't have nothing to do with that prompt. I think we were having two
It
different
didn't.
conversations, or
Yeah,
yeah, I feel like he was in a different mind space. I don't know,
yeah.
but I think he was aware of that, which is kind of why he lashed out towards the end. Because I gave up trying to follow what he was talking about. I was like, I'm done with this. God bless his soul. Bless. There's a different. I think that's another reason why some men become very popular. You don't need to be a rational man if you support whatever a woman's argument is. As long as you're defending womankind, women will support you. Even if you are dumb as bricks, women will stand behind you and defend. Let me look at Umar Johnson. He's very noticeably, very, very obviously some sort of smug addict. He steals money donated to him for the purpose of a school, and women still give him their unending support. All he does is say stuff that they're always going to agree with. That's it. That's the key to getting popular in today's society. Just tell women what they want to hear. And I think that brother was trying to do it, but he didn't have the vocabulary or the mental fortitude to pull it off right.
Man, he got to be eating like in his upper 60s or something. This is crazy.
Some people get stuck in those mentalities, especially some of the older generations. They don't want to listen to us because they feel like what in their generation they supposed to tell us, oh, you ain't supposed to talk in a grown folks setting. You supposed to sit back and be in a child's place. Like, how do you think we supposed to know the stuff that you knowing if you gonna treat us like a baby all the time?
Or they're above reproach. That's another argument. A lot of black women do that. Why are you up here arguing with a female? Well, why are you asking that question? Are you a rational adult capable of making your own decisions? Because if you are, then why can't someone argue with you or debate your point? Like that, I just don't get it. Is it because you're stupid? Are you an idiot? Or are you saying that you're above reproach? Which is it? Don't
I
know.
think I think neither one. I think it's the helping hand syndrome, that holding hand syndrome. And then when they got older, they weren't able to think for themselves. A lot of them, and that's on both sides, women and men. They weren't able to think for themselves because of the irrational, undecisive decisions that were made. And they were just like, "Oh, I'm gonna go around with this, and I'm gonna be fast at it. I'm gonna keep doing this." And I've seen it. I've witnessed it. I had to help slow one of the baby moms down because she just rushing around everything. Later on, is Cassie gonna come
Well,
with
this is
her
kind of
stuff?
why I think that marriage isn't a good thing right now. We have women who aren't even psychologically stable enough to make up their own arguments. They can't they can't introspect. Women in today's society, maybe they never could. So getting married to someone like that, someone who's permanently within this childish mentality, is it'll get you further away from peace than anything you can do. Like at this point, there are a lot of men, hundreds of thousands, millions of men here in America that are choosing just to stay single because to bond yourself to a woman who consequence don't doesn't reach her is it's insane. It's absolutely insane. You're sharing a bed with a woman who loves chaos and dysfunction. She loves burning through your money. The last thing she wants to do is be an asset to you. Now, where are the women who used to come up with very strategic ways to save their husband money? Or the women who used to try to be a man's peace? Now, all they want to do is try to be a liability. They want to be another bill. And they want you to smile and pretend like you're happy to be used financially. I'm like, dude, you're not an asset. There's nothing more useless than a modern day woman in today's society. The few traditional women that are out there are godsends, but most of them are already married because of how valuable they are. Chuck says women don't take responsibility because they've been taught to be a victim.
Appreciate the
Facts.
likes and appreciate the likes, Gibbs and like heart means. Appreciate y'all so much. Chuck, that is real shit.
I agree. Because like the lady was saying before she left, we was talking about Disney. We was programmed to be wise from watching. No, that was fairy tales, and that's the problem.
That's why a lot of women they live in la la land. That's why they always fantasize about the big wedding and what they call like the picket fence or whatever.
Yep, the white picket fence.
Oh, well, Onyx.
Yeah, I don't know where he went. He'd probably be back.
But yeah, and that's just the whole point. They don't. A lot of women. It's sad. Like they don't take accountability from the grandmas, the mothers, the daughters, and it keeps going on and on and on. And I just feel sorry for this generation of women because there's very few women like Jazzy left, and it's sad.
Yeah, I had to, that's why I said when I went through that, I had to go through that. And a lot of people don't get it. It's like, if you don't set your foot and your tone immediately, it will definitely be your daughters. Like, immediately, you have to let them know, like, it's no way that a baby that's 4 should know what accountability, like, know what it is, but won't accept it. Like, when I tell her that, she was like, no, Dad, no, no. Like, it was melting her. I was like, what? Nah, we gonna have to get this together. Get the thesaurus out and get the dictionary out. We gonna start working on this because it's called self-sufficiency, not independency.
Right, and that's what I'm teaching my daughter too. So I love that knowledge.
That's beautiful. Chuck, what up, bro?
What's good, man?
And I'm back just chilling, man. I just came back from suspension.
Bro, I hate that. It feels good though.
Yeah, dude.
I don't even get suspended no more because I barely go live, but I remember it happened about, I don't know, 5, 6 times in a row because I didn't know any of the rules.
Man.
Yeah, man, this is a good topic though. I just jumped into it, so I didn't hear the dialogue between their panel, but yeah, good topic.
Damn, I wish you would have came here earlier with this girl. Like, what was her name? Kita? I can't pronounce it. Kita?
Yeah,
Kita?
Ikeda or something.
Yeah. She didn't take no accountability. She always either saying it's 50-50 or she always bringing up like the man. And I'm like, this is about women right now.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing, right? It's like when you're talking about one thing, you're like, that's not relevant to what we're discussing right now. It's deflection.
Yep.
I was in a discussion the other night about like not the same topic, but similarly, and believe it or not, it was with my mom, and we were in a short. I'll make this quick, but we were in a short like argument basically about how my stepdad like shouted at my daughters on their birthday because they were screaming and playing with the toys they just got, and my mom was like, are you saying that you've never shouted at your daughters for yelling? And I was like, what does that have to do with me addressing the fact that he just shouted at my daughters? Like, I could say that I've done it before and I could have been wrong and someone could have corrected me and I should have been corrected, but that's not what just happened. I'm talking about what just happened took place right now. So can we talk about that, or do you want to keep bringing up some shit that I did before? It just doesn't. That deflection shit is bogus, and it comes up so much.
They hit you with that two things right at the same two things could be right at the same time. Crap.
Exactly.
Oh,
But like,
I believe, Chuck, your mom is just coming to her man's rescue.
yeah, but essentially, but yeah,
Helper hand
essentially,
syndrome.
yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Because she even said something uh, like, because basically, I just let my daughter unbox her birthday present, and my mom was like, "You guys can have the party at my house." So like, cool. I got the invitation, and they just opened this present and my daughters are in the living room playing with it, and they're like being little 4 or 5 year old girls and screaming, and my stepdad jumped off the chair and was like, hey, because they were being loud, and I don't like screaming that much either, but there's a time and place for it. So I just told him, I was like, bro, she just opened a gift for 10 seconds, is playing with it on her birthday, and you're shouting at her to be quiet. And my mom was like, that's disrespectful because he's your elder. And I looked at my mom and I was like, I'm a grown ass man. Like, I'm 35. I don't care if he's 70. We are both grown ass men. So like, I'm going to check him like a grown ass man and be like, don't shout at my daughter for playing with her birthday present loudly the second she got it. You know what I mean? And she was jumping to bat for him, but it was like all deflection. Well, you've done this before and you've done that. Well, okay. So then I was wrong when I did it before. He was wrong right now. I can't call him out for being wrong because I did something wrong in my past. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a,
Yeah, that's because she holding his hand and he don't have balance and discipline in himself because he worried about the pee and somewhere to be.
yeah, basically. And she was like, you could have just walked away. And I was like, I literally did walk away. And he was shouting shit out at me as I walked away. And she's like, you could have been the bigger person. I was like, so you're telling me I disrespected my elder, but then you're telling me that my elder was allowed to act like a child and I was supposed to be the grown man and walk away? That doesn't make no sense. Like, I'm not trying to hear that. I mean, what I'm getting at, I guess, is it's crazy because even my moms can act like that, like not take accountability. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and every person that's been on this earth longer than you ain't your elder. they fools too. So you can't call up your elder either.
I mean, the way I see it is, if you're a grown ass man, you're a grown ass man. Like, don't tell me that if I'm 35 and somebody's 70, then that means that they deserve something more than I do. Like, I'll respect my elders. Like, I'll always respect my parents. I'll always give them the respect that they deserve. But I'll also call them on their bullshit as I get older, because like, you mature. You know what I mean? If we did everything that our parents taught us to do, we would all be jacked up, like super jacked up. You know what I mean? There's a lot of good lessons we can get from our parents and our elders, but we all know that like there's a lot of shit we had to change growing up.
Yeah, like for instance, like I was raised by my mom and my dad at different times, but my mom was like, if anybody hit you, you hit them back. I don't care if it's a female, I don't care who it is, you hit them back. I said, what? See, that's the crazy.
Yeah. It is different though, yeah. I mean, that's funny because me and the mother of my kids are kind of on that same page. And I had a funny story I told on one of my lives, but basically, like, my son, all my kids are small because their mom's like Portuguese. They're all small, but my son's small. And he was at football practice and he's playing with one of his friends, like it's his buddy, but his buddy's like roughing him up a little too much. And then he ran over to me at practice and was like, I told him to stop. Like, I did what you always told me to do first. Like, tell them to stop first. And if they don't stop, tell like my coach or my teacher. And if they still don't stop, then handle it myself. And I was like, did you do all that? And he's like, yeah. Then I was like, then go punch him in the head. And he did that shit, and I felt bad because that kid that he punched ate my son's little soft punch, and I was like, "Oh damn, I think I just got my son fucked up." Like, but the other kid just like started crying because he knew he got punched, and like he's a kid too. But like, I'm like that to an extent, but that's just because I mean I underwent bullying when I was real small and younger, and I just like, you can't let shit like that slide. But yeah, every parent's different, like I didn't have a pops growing up, so my mom was like both, and my mom was gangster. So she was like, my mom was the first person to call me, for lack of better words, this wasn't the exact word, but she was the first person to call me a weenie and tell me to stop crying, stop tattletaling, stand up for myself, so.
Jazzy, my love, like, what's your take on what Chuck said?
Sis mama. I was just saying the same thing that Knowledge pretty much said. Like, it's hard for women to take accountability no matter what, but I think it makes them feel better when they feel like they have an even playground, or if that makes sense, not the word I'm probably looking for. But like, how he was saying his mama was like, oh, like, you ain't never did that before. Like, it, to a female, for some reason, that validates whatever they're saying or thinking. I don't know why, but it just seemed like, oh, if you did it, then I could do it. And if you was able to get away with it, then I should be able to get away with it. Kind of like a kid mentality.
Yeah, that's accurate. I think a lot of us do it. I don't think that aspect of itself is not just specific to women, because I think that a lot of people do that. It's very easy to look at your partner and be like, how are you going to be mad about this when you did this, this, and that? But like, the truth of it is, like, but we're talking about what just affected me. Now, if I habituate something that's bad, like if I always do that thing that I'm complaining about, yeah, you have a leg to stand on. But if you're saying that you witnessed me doing it once, and that means that now I can't stand on business and be upset that it happened to my own kids because you saw me do it once before, that doesn't make sense. Like, people will all do stuff. But like, I took accountability in that moment. I said, you're right, I have done that. And somebody should have checked me and nobody did. But I could have got checked by that and they would have been within their rights to do so. But right now, I'm checking somebody for doing the same thing, but to my kids. Two separate situations.
Right, because that's your child. So that's 100% right.
Yeah. And then not only that, but that was my youngest daughter. And like, I don't know who has kids in here, but like, my youngest is like legit my little sweet angel baby. Like, she just listens to all the rules. She eats good. She just doesn't. And then I got my middle child, my middle daughter, and she's a firecracker. And like, low key, I'm kind of worried she's going to school next year, and I'm low key worried about getting phone calls about her being a bully. Like, I'm working on that shit with her. So
Am I able to ask you a question, or do you want me to just listen?
Yeah, for sure, of course.
Oh, okay. Do you feel, or do you know for sure that she's gonna be that way?
Nah. Of course not. But like she's, she just shows more of that tenacity and that kind of like personality. Shit that I see on the playgrounds or that like the daycare lady tells me about that just makes me feel like I gotta kind of put a little bit more intention on like how she responds to other kids and interacts with them than I do with the other kids. Cause like some people just, naturally are empathetic and have that like sweet bone in their body. And then you just have, if for lack of better words, you just got people that are just gangster. Like my brothers were like that, just got the bone in their body, like ready to hit, you know what I mean? And that's how she kind of seems,
So just push and shift the negative into balance and positivity, and know that she's gonna do the correct thing because what you teaching and installing, and don't have no worries ever. There's no such thing as a worry if you don't allow it to be.
Yeah, you're right. That's on point too, because honestly, what you speak into your children is what they become. And I could tell that, like, the more that you tell one of your kids, like, it's the running joke, my middle child's like, oh, she's so feisty, this and that. She's heard it plenty. So what does she do? She exemplifies that. You speak into your child like that they're sweet and they're beautiful and that they're kind and stuff like that. They're gonna exemplify that more. And so I've been working on that a lot more because we react. They do something that looks like they're kind of out of pocket, then you call them out for being out of pocket. But it's better to sit down with them and just kind of be able to be like, look, I understand you were activated and you responded the way you did out of anger, but that's not who I'm raising you to be. I'm raising a sweet, respectful, young woman, young lady, and you speak that into them, they're more likely to be that than to just constantly tell them like, you're bad, you don't listen to nothing. If you do that all the time, they're just going to believe that that's who they are.
I'm the only person on the panel that don't have children. I don't have children. I don't have a wife either.
You should do that. You should just go ahead and knock that out. Just bang a few out.
I gotta find. I gotta find a woman mentality like similar to Jazzy's. That's it. Because a lot of women, they don't know their role, their place, and I don't want to have regrets. Because see, children, they're not games. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to have a regret. Like, damn, I got a baby by this girl. I don't want to do that. So I don't want to have no regrets.
That's smart, man. That's smart. It's a huge decision. I think it's one of the most important decisions you can make in your life for sure. Who you choose as your partner, definitely.
Big facts.
Yeah. It's not always gonna. I mean, if you're more meticulous about it now, you have a higher chance of like finding the right person, most definitely, and having strong boundaries. But yeah, I happen to have an anecdotal example of like the person that I married that I had kids with. I had known her since we were 14. We were friends. We didn't start dating until we were like 26, and I thought everything was kosher, like everything was everything, and only to find out that like that it was the absolute, like, the worst complete opposite of what I thought it was that you could even imagine. So that's still a possibility, and I don't want to throw that out into the ether because I think that if you just put God first and you really make good choices, you'll do it right. I can't say that I chose like really strong on who I was picking. I was just enamored by the fact that I was like dating somebody that I had known since we were kids, and thought that all the trust that came from that was like important enough. But I didn't really put, like what you're saying, I didn't put enough emphasis on like why I was really choosing that person. Like, what are their qualities? What are their traits? It was just like, oh, I've known them for a long time and we've been friends. They would never do me like that, kind of. So it's definitely important, man. I'm glad you think like that because a lot of young men don't.
Thank
I
you.
love when I love when people are friends before they get together. I think that's the best relationship.
Yeah. you got to be friends the whole time too. That's the thing that gets lost. Is like you become a couple and then you forget that you're friends. Like that's supposed to be your best friend. Like you're supposed to be able to choose that person every day. And people just get lost in their roles. That's what happens when you have kids, when you have a family, when you get married. You become a husband or a wife, you become a father or a mother, and you forget that you're a husband to or a best friend to the person that you created this whole life with, and you forget how to like foster that. And you're like, oh, if I just go through the motions, as long as I'm paying the bills and I'm feeding the baby and I'm doing this and that and I'm doing my job. It's like, no, everything stems from the relationship that is like in charge of the home. And then more importantly, I think that, and I'm learning this more now than I used to know, that it's the relationship that you should have with God and like your morals and everything. And it's huge because people just get infatuated with the person. Oh, she's bad. Oh, he's hot. Oh, he's got money. Oh, she cooks. Oh, whatever. And then you find out later they have horrible traits and horrible communication skills. And now you're staying for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, that's why I believe in seeing somebody in all their seasons before getting into a committed relationship with them.
Yeah. I like that phrase. I always like that phrase, in all the seasons.
I'm like, yeah, because people be different and not even different, but people get with somebody seeing them in a season and think like this is who that person is. And then now we together and now you in a different season. I think you done switched up and you different. But in reality, this is who you was the whole time.
Yeah. And seasons can be defined so weirdly, right? Because like sometimes you end up like dating somebody and you just so happen to start dating them when they're not in the greatest spot in their life, but they're just like looking for some kind of like they're looking for like friendship, they're looking for some kind of camaraderie, and then it turns into a dating thing or whatever. But you find out one of them is in a bad way, or like not a bad way, but maybe they're not like on their P's and Q's. Maybe they're not financially stable as they want to be or whatever the case, but everything else checks. Like they're sweet, they're kind, they listen, communicate well. And then you can go through that phase with them, and then see them grow and become the best version of themselves, or the opposite. They start off as the best version of themselves, and then you see them get into a bad way, and you can stick through it with them, and then you get to see how they react with you and stuff when they're in their bad space. That's the stuff that creates like long lasting relationships.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, yo, because I got to see somebody in every condition. I need to know how you is when you happy, when you mad, when you broke, when you getting hoes, when you ain't getting hoes. I need to see you, in every single season possible
You
before
don't want
I
to know it. You don't
fuck
want to know
with
what they're
you.
like when they're getting hoes. You don't want to know what they're like when they're getting hoes. Come on now.
Yeah, I do, because I need to know if you the ones that you gonna start getting hoes and you easily influenced by them, where you can just do any and everything with them because you so weak when it comes to that. Because I know a man is flesh and I know women is we be popping, so I understand that, and so I need to know like how you moving, and then if you don't get no hoes, sometimes they make a dude feel some type of way, and now you gonna start getting some. And maybe you feeling yourself. I just need to know. I need
Yeah,
to
I
see
see
every
what you
part.
mean. Yeah, I see what you mean for sure. Like, yeah, if you were a dude that just like wasn't getting nothing, and all of a sudden you're getting attention out of nowhere, you just like deviate from the relationship you're in because you're getting this whole thing you never seen before, felt before. That makes sense.
Yep.
You probably want to see that before the relationship though. Like maybe you know them from before, and you're like, I already seen what they were like with hoes, without hoes. You don't want to see that during the relationship. You're like, why is my man getting hoes? I don't want to know if like,
Yeah, that's why I say I gotta see it before we in a committed relationship. We just dating. Go ahead, do you?
yeah.
I need to, yeah, but
That's a real thing though too. But isn't that's a thing that's so bogus is like and I don't mean this to come out in any way, shape, or form going towards women, but like I lost my marriage due to infidelity on the part of my previous partner. And I was trying to understand it so much, and I learned that 80% of divorces initiated by women, and of that 80%, a drastic like 65% are due to the woman committing to infidelity. And it's typically because when the relationship progresses forward, men get comfortable and then women get comfortable. And then women typically like to monkey swing to another person because they think the grass is greener somewhere else, because whatever their men used to do, they aren't doing anymore. But the women aren't willing to communicate to the man, hey, I'm feeling some kind of way because we're lacking in this area, that area. It's just like, oh, if I feel this way, he must not be the one for me. So I look elsewhere. Whereas like men will knuckle down. This is not speaking for all, but this, from what I've just read and understood, men typically will like knuckle down. And if we find a person that we want to like put a ring on, like we'll like give up all happiness we got, all energy we got to make sure that like the woman and the kids are straight. There's dogs out there, obviously, but statistically speaking, it seems that like women today, anyways, have an easier time moving on because of, well, really just because of the freedom that women have to do so, and the incentive, they're incentivized to do so because of what you get out of separating from a marriage. So, like, typically, you get the money, the alimony, the child support. Which is changing a lot for the better now, but it's sad, man. The nuclear family's dying, and I hate to see it, but it's there needs to be a lot more importance on just like a strong relationship and a family growing up, one household, like choosing each other every day, and it's not. Everybody thinks it's a fairy tale, a fantasy, and if it doesn't feel like that every day, you must not be meant for each other, so you move on. It's stupid. You just choose each other every day.
Yeah, and women move on out of selfishness, and plus their mentality is, and I quote, they say, "What the next nigga want, the next nigga will."
Right.
You don't hear guys saying that shit because we'll be like, bro, I could go through 4 more after this, and they all still don't do that shit. Like, you're like, fuck, dude, I just tried 4 more times. This shit, the next one may not, like, unfortunately, but there's a lot of pressure on men to continue to be the leader, provider, strong, protector, all the things. It's just that in this day and age, this fourth wave of feminism is creating a whole generation of women that want all of that but don't want to give the same energy in return. Like, and it's because it's because they're told that if a guy says you should do this, you should do that, they're being controlled and told what to do, and no one's going to tell me what to do and control my life. It's like, not, but that's, you know what I mean? That's not what it is. It's like nobody has to tell the man that I got to get up in the middle of the night in my drawers and grab my pew pew and go see what banged on the door to protect the house. But we just do that shit. Nobody has to tell us to. You know what I mean? Like, we just expected to.
Yeah, I don't know who started that feminist jump. I believe that whoever was the first woman who started that didn't have no daddy. I don't care what nobody say. I'm convinced.
Well, first wave feminism, like genuinely first wave feminism, did come from an era where women were wanting to get more rights and such, but it was defined as equality between men and women, period. So basically, women initially in first wave feminism were just pushing to have all of the same value and rights that a man could have, which would be what? Us being equal. And as it progresses, now it's just become a men ain't shit, and like we don't need men, and like, woman power is.
Yeah, because now they equal. That's what they wanted. Now that's what they feel they got. They feel like they are equal to a man now. So they don't have to do nothing. It's like what I need a man for when you equal to a man. They sit there and say that all day, and then they be the first ones that complaining, oh, I gotta pay bills, I gotta do this. No, you want to be independent, remember?
Yeah, until you tell one of these women to go work on an oil rig. Like, I'm a union carpenter. I build bridges. I don't build chairs and cabinets. And you want to tell like a woman that says she wants, I do know women carpenters, and they're good, but I know women carpenters that I know, they can't carry 4 20-foot 2x4s on their shoulder as fast as I can and do this and that. But that woman might be sharp. She can read the blueprints and lay stuff out, and she's an asset to the team. But like, we know the differences, right? And then you tell women like, oh, you want to be equal? All right, go work on the oil rig. Go build a bridge. Go get under the tunnel. Build the infrastructure. And then those same women were like, oh, there's women out there that do that. Yeah, there is. Statistically speaking, though, it's like 9% of the entire firefighter workforce in the entire country is women, and the other 91% is men. Why? Is it because they're only giving it to men, or is it because physically men are more capable of doing that job, and that's okay? Like, that's okay for it to be that way. God made women the way he made women for a reason. God made men the way, like,
Right.
That's true.
But they don't care. It's like playing a sport. It's like they see the person out there playing offense, they want to play offense. And they like, oh no, fuck defense. I want to do what they doing. Like you need every part of the team. Like it's not
Yeah.
about like, oh, just because you doing it, I'm doing it, and that make it equal. No, you doing your part, I'm doing my part, and together we got an equal team.
Damn, that's a good ass. Now, did you play sports, Jazzy?
I did a little cross country, but no, I was fat. I didn't do nothing else.
Well, nah, because like that reminds me of football. Like I played cornerback and free safety, right? But like I can't do my job if I don't trust that the linebackers and the defensive line in front of me are going to do their job. So like if I try to like compensate for or think that they're not going to do it right, and I do something different, and then it fucks everything up, then boom, it's a touchdown on defense. Like it does have to be like that. That's exactly how it's supposed to work.
Yep. And then they'll come up and be like, oh, we lost the game because of you. What? Was you watching?
Yeah.
No. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it is. I do love football though, Chuck. So I might have pulled that out of the hat. But yep.
Yeah, nah, it's on point though, because like I was talking about this in one of my panel, and I I don't even know how to make prompts like how Meech has right here. Like that's a dope prompt, but like my prompt just will say words in the background, just say how are you really feeling, and that's to anybody. And I get a lot of dudes that come up that want to talk about just like surprisingly men's mental health, and I have had women come up too crying, like sobbing, like something just happened and they wanted somebody to talk to for a minute, but like in these conversations, you have these conversations, and I remember talking to a woman that was describing what I heard my ex say in therapy, that like she feels like sometimes I'm like in the same breath, she's like, he's an amazing husband, amazing father. He makes me feel emotionally safe like I've never felt before because he listens and he's emotionally intelligent. But and then the buts were like, I do this and I do that, and it makes me feel like I have another kid in the house. And the therapist is like, so you're telling me he fixes everything because I can fix and build anything. He's like, so he fixes everything that needs to be fixed, repaired, built in the home, saves you tons of money doing that. He keeps the house safe, and he does all the physical, just general man shit. But on top of that, I also happen to be a chef. So like I cook and I do shit like that. I change diapers, do bedtimes, nap times, all the things. And she's like, but I do this, this, and that. And the therapist is like, so it sounds like you had a pretty healthy dynamic. You have a calendar by the front door, and you make sure that you understand when everybody's dentist appointments, doctor's appointments. Like she's great at the organizing stuff and a lot of the nurturing and other things in the house. And then I do my thing. Okay, great. That's a teamwork. That's a dynamic that works. Like, the fuck are we complaining about?
Her happiness.
I mean, if she was unhappy because of doing whatever her like role that was acquired through just like natural time passing by, then that just means that there's a lack of communication, and that's what the real death of relationships is uncommunicated expectations. People don't know how to communicate.
Yeah. And a lot of times females be unhappy with something else within themselves, and they don't know it or know how to express it, so they blame it on what the partner is doing or just the partner in general.
Yeah.
And they'll say that, oh, I'm not happy in this relationship. But you're not happy even when you leave a relationship because you're not happy with you. There's something wrong with you.
Yeah, and dudes are never happy with ourselves. We just eat that shit. We don't say it. We just be like,
Right.
yeah. We're like, yeah, I know. I was fucking up.
Is
I
it
was like,
Asta? I know she just came. New person on the panel.
Yo,
Anna, what's your take on why do women always blame men and never take accountability?
mm,
No, they not beats
hold
because
on.
they backwards. They beat backwards.
What you talking about?
They beat backwards on the. It's a D on the like on the side.
Oh,
It's a D. Not a T.
anyway, so, really, like, I don't know. I feel like I mean,
What the hell going on?
they have like more of
I'm
the
hella
upper
confused.
mentality. So I
Right.
don't know. Maybe women are like, I don't know. I feel like women are naturally like have that victim mentality, and so we have like all the like power to enforce certain things. That's why they try to like blame certain things on men. But like, in the whole grand scheme of things, like men only enforce violence due to women. I don't know if y'all can hear me.
Yeah, nah, you're on point. I said that earlier about the whole like victim mentality thing,
Hmm.
which is wild, right? Because it's like if something isn't going, hey, if something's not going the way that like a woman may want, it could be blamed on men, and they go, well, how's it men's fault? And then when these specific type of women will say, well, men created this, created it all, and then you catch them up. You're like, okay, so you're saying that the house you live in, the building you work in, the AC you love to sit in, the heat you love in the winter, the lights that you enjoy, all of that created by built by men, and there's no appreciation there for it. But because we built it, if something's wrong, it must be our fault because we built it. It's like, what the fuck are we talking about now? Like, this shit gets so confused now. It's like,
Right.
I once told someone else that there would be no type of violence on Earth if it wasn't for women. Men wouldn't fight over things. Men wouldn't fight over land. Men wouldn't fight over power. Men wouldn't fight over nothing. We would just coexist.
I don't know about that.
I
We
don't know
only
about that
fight for
part, but
we only
women
fight
are
for
the
like
highest rate of abusers. I agree with him on that.
Yeah, I don't
no,
know about
like y'all
that part.
thinking about y'all thinking about modern day. Like no, like you gotta think like from the beginning of time. Like when we were back at primates and cavemen and stuff, there was no all these like social like constructs that like people can go off of. It was just men naturally did what they could to protect and to fight for women. That's what it was.
To protect and provide for their village or their community. But the thing was, is the reason why conquest even ever became a thing, I think even in ancient times, is because eventually resources start to dwindle. And so men go, well, I know there's some shit over there, and they go look for it, and then they find other men, and then they end up fighting for like trying to gain more of what they're lacking in. And I don't know if it's necessarily like due to just like women, but they are protecting their village that does include women and children, you know what I mean? But like, we all know what happened with Troy, you know what I mean? The whole, you
Right.
know what I mean? It's all over Helen, you know what I mean? That's a thing.
And also,
So I
if
would
you look
definitely say
at,
it's the sole one of the sole purposes of like most violence.
I'm
Probably
saying,
won't say all. Won't say
if
all, but
if you look at the stats, yeah, he's right. Because like when it comes to like women and women relationship, their abuse levels is way higher than men on men. Women and men, women is higher. Women is the most abusers for kids, elderly. Like it's
Yeah.
really crazy on
And the
how the numbers is
LGBTQ,
high with women.
the like women relationships, like women and women, have
Yep,
the highest statistics of abuse when
abuse. Mm-hmm.
with women that are
Yep,
with women.
yep,
That's crazy.
yep. And then them abusing kids and elderly is number two on the list.
Yeah, yeah. Like so Mimi said he's the one that doesn't have kids, but for those that do, I don't know if this is like consistent, but it seems to be with my friends and everybody that has kids. But like, why are dudes like the men, like the dads, like so good at getting the babies to like go to sleep when they tell them to, and to like listen and what have you, and then the women are always just like, how do you even do that shit? And it's just like, we have a different, we're not emotionally activated, and we have a different like, we stick to the standard and like the routine, and we're not afraid to put a little bit of like umph into our parenting styles, coupled with, you know, some compassion, whereas like women tend to feel like they're not being heard and listened to even by their 3-4 year old kid, which is like what they do to their partners too, and then they just lose control.
yeah. I would say definitely when you're raising like boys, it's definitely going to be way harder for them to take any type of discipline from their mother. It just doesn't work like that. Like women can't like really enforce discipline onto kids. They only can like be there to like be their friend or like in hard times. Anytime they try to like do that, they always like they always get it mixed up between like discipline and like loving your kid. You know what I'm saying? Like they think that if you love them, then you won't discipline them, and you won't hurt them, and you won't teach them things. But it's like it's not true.
Yeah, that tracks, because I was raised just by my mom, and I always, like I was saying earlier, my mom's pretty gangster. She gave me some like some straight like man advice at times, but when I started going to therapy and really digging into it, I realized that like even though my mom raised me and she was like, you know, she was there,
Hmm.
I dealt with abandonment, and it doesn't mean that my mom was not there, but the abandonment thing was just that like presence was absent because my mom did have to work and raise four kids by herself, which means my mom wasn't at my baseball games. I don't have memories of my mom playing Legos with me, all the things that kids like need. So so I grew up with an abandonment attachment identity, which led me to go and seek out women that were more independent and then fall into the same cycle of finding a woman that ends up being detached from like the man's needs and emotions and stuff. And I try to explain that to my mom as to why I like interacted the way that I did in my relationships, and she just got mad. Like literally just got mad and was like, "What do you mean? I never abandoned you." I was like, "That's not what I'm saying. Like I'm not you're taking the definition of abandonment too literal. I'm saying abandonment just is the presence of someone not being there when they needed them to be, like for the majority of their life. And um women tend to like check the boxes. Not all. I think there's a lot of amazing mothers out there, but I think that a lot of women tend to just be like, well, if I'm feeding, organizing, cleaning, keeping the household, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. But guys are over here like, I didn't feel no hugs, no love when I grew up. So I'm gonna hug and kiss my kids a little more than I got hugged and kissed when I was little, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they might be like narcissistic or fucked up, but I feel like men give women too much choice, too much obligations.
He burnt it, bro.
They took away there was a
Really
lot of
burnt it.
freedoms and stuff taken away, then people would act right. But people only act out because of the so-called like ideal of being free and they can do whatever they want to do. But people don't understand like yeah, you can do whatever you want to do, but everything comes with a consequence. And
Yeah.
like
Yeah, we're living in an era now where more and more women are trying to test dudes gangster and think they could put hands on men, and you just keep seeing more videos come out where they just get they get that same energy given right back. So, yeah, yeah. My son was getting bullied by a girl at his school because he was taught by me just, you know, obviously you're naturally stronger and all this thing, so just be careful, be cautious. I'm the same way when he's like that with his sisters. But there was a little girl at his school that was basically was just kicking him in his private parts like for like 3 days in a row, and he'd come home crying, tell me he told the lady on the playground and told the teacher, and it wasn't stopping. And so I finally told him, and his mom told him the same thing. If she does that again today, then handle it. And then if you handle it and you get reprimanded for it, then we'll talk to the teachers and the principal and everybody, and we'll address the fact that, you know, you did everything you were trying to do to avoid it. But yeah, that equality thing is going to come in a way that these feminists do not want to experience.
That's why it's an old saying: "Be careful what you wish for."
Hmm. Yeah. Like, have you ever seen any of those podcasts and stuff, Meech, where like they'll ask women on a panel if they think like the world would be fine if like every man just disappeared, and these women like swear by God, they're like, yeah, we'd be fine. And you're like, no, you wouldn't. Like 90% of the physical workforce that builds the infrastructure for the entire planet is men. And so 10% wouldn't even have enough time to train the rest of the world of women that don't know how to do these things to keep the lights on and the world going. And within weeks, like the entire planet would shut down. So can we all just agree that men are necessary, but also if women disappeared, the planet would shut down too? Like it would go for a little bit longer, but like eventually it's not going to be
yeah,
cool.
I disagree with all that. Uh, it would definitely go out. Like we would, like men would go extinct without women, but I feel like the world would be crazier or peaceful. I
Yeah.
mean, like you gotta look at it, man. Like we're talking about accountability. I don't think Eve took accountability for getting tricked and eating the apple, did she? Like, they, I mean, women are never gonna take accountability. That's why men gotta hold them accountable to their actions. But some men are not men enough to do that. They think that they're supposed to correlate with them and stuff. It's like, no, like you're supposed to look at yourself as an image of something bigger, not lesser than a woman. Now, a
Yeah.
woman can now a woman can think that she's equal to a man, yes, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because I'm always going to be superior. Just common law.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. The world's going a little bit sideways, but the good thing about God is that he'll always make it right. So it's happening exactly the way it's supposed to.
It's
Yeah,
just America.
right. It's just
They
America.
no, yeah, right. It's just America. America dropped the ball when they brought the equality between men and women. That's where they dropped the ball at.
Europe too, yeah. Europe's been on it too for a while, but yeah, America was like some of the first. Yeah, you're right, pioneers of that. And there's a whole bunch of other theories about like when women were given like everything, like the right to vote, and then were given like the women have been able to work since like the mid 1800s, but the right to vote and then getting equal work was different. But like the theory being that like once America made it to where women could vote, and then women could be held accountable for property and for like possession of like assets and property, it was just a way to be able to get more votes from women and then get more tax money and everything because they just took 50% of the population, gave them jobs, and now we could tax you more, and now we make more money off of you, and now women have to be accountable for property that's been gained through marriage and stuff like that. But whereas before, women did not have to worry about incurring debt through divorce and things of that nature, and
Right.
that's a theory, anyways. I don't know if that's been proven, but um, I'm all for women. I'm all for women voting. There's plenty of very intelligent and
I don't
capable.
know about that. I
I
don't know
mean,
about that.
yeah, I believe I understand why. I've heard both sides, but there's plenty of capable, intelligent women in
Like,
the world that can vote for certain things. But
like
like
you will
what?
let a woman sign on a draft even though she can't be drafted. Like you will let her vote for a draft to be happening if she can't like actually be inside the draft.
Yeah, that's one of the areas that doesn't make sense, right? Like, why do you get to vote that men should be able to be drafted no matter what if you're not able to? Like, right? That's an
Right.
area. Yeah, that's an area that makes perfect sense. Perfect
It's
sense.
like it's like we should probably be drafting both genders, but I mean, in like practicality, I mean that's not like practical. But if they want to be able to vote for it, then they should be getting drafted too. It shouldn't be just us.
Yeah, you got to hear that conversation about the Titanic. I brought that topic on mine before, where it was like it was weird though. The topic was more in the direction of like how people identify as far as like this whole the LGBTQ stuff, and it was like there was too many people that were the progressive mindset claiming that like oh you can't always tell, and when you talk to somebody, do you ask them what their chromosomes are and stuff right off the rip? And it was like, and my response was just like, when the Titanic was sinking, do you think that the officers turned around and said, whoever identifies as a woman? Like, no, they just turned around and said, you woman and you woman, get on the boat first. Like, we all knew what it was. This is like, and they were happy to do that. They were like, oh shit, I'm good. Like, I can get on the boat for, all right, hell yeah. And they jumped on the boats without fucking no hesitation, except for that one story about the true story about that one rich couple where the wife like stayed behind with her husband and just like went down.
Right. Yeah, because I guess like that was a whole scheme to like unalive them or something like that, so they can always keep their money like inherit to them.
Yeah, there was a tax write off. That's the whole theory about the
Right.
Titanic. Yeah,
Hmm.
that it wasn't even the Titanic. It was the Olympic or something like that, and the
Did you
Bilderbergs or
you
something
know
owned
about
it.
that? You know about that one submarine that the billionaires went down in not too long ago and crashed, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
tin can. I told people that they did the same thing like as the Titanic, like they did it as like a tax write off. Like they always do that. Like a lot of people who own like a lot of money, they always like take out like all their family and stuff with their riches and just go.
Yeah, same thing with 9/11. The people that were invested in the buildings, the 3 buildings that went down, all of a sudden take out an insurance claim 2 days before it happens. Yeah, we're in a wicked world. That's what I'm saying. It just goes back to this topic to not deviate too much. We're in a wicked world where like men and women are both being manipulated into like changing their ways. Men ain't men no more. So we could talk about women not being accountable, but the majority of men ain't the type of men that we used to be either. So it's like it's all muddy, man. The game is
Right. Because like the argument always goes down like I've heard someone argue like, oh, like how are women supposed to be accountable and be submissive in all these things when the men are not like capable of like showing leader like traits or anything.
yeah, yeah. It's fucked. It's the game's fucked up. It's another era where people think we are in the end times because biblical prophecies are coming true, and it all like goes right back to that all the shit that's happening now.
Right.
I just think that like it gets so fucked up because like I went through my own shit and then I got into my first relationship since my divorce, and while I was in that relationship my boundaries were like crazy strong, but I did have to check myself. And I don't know if maybe like I don't know if maybe Jazzy's experienced this as like someone dating another guy, but like I definitely allowed my boundaries to get in the way of me like being as understanding as I used to be. It was like I could have boundaries to an extent, but at the same time, if I saw like a smidgen of like crazy or a smidgen of like disrespect, I could have taken a little more time to look at it and like give a little bit of grace and then like speak my piece and be like, hey, like I didn't like that because this is what I expect of my woman. Instead, it was like, ah, nah, you did that shit. I'm out.
Yeah, I feel like I do the same thing, especially now at my age. Like I'm only 21, 22. I already got a kid and shit. Like when I'm talking to girls and shit, I kind of just like I just hit the check box on them, and if they don't check off their boxes, man, it's on to the next.
Yeah, yeah. I feel it though.
I
And
don't
see,
like to waste time. I don't like wasting time. That's like a
and see with me, I set my boundaries up front. If there is something that I didn't express, then maybe it slipped my mind or something, and we live in life and it comes up, then yes, I'll let them know, like, hey, I don't like that, whatever. But that's
Mhm.
it. I tell you one time, and if you don't respect that, then yeah, that's it. It's a wrap.
See, but that's what I'm talking about. Jazzy is like the one time thing, right? Like if you look at it like the way that you're raising a child, right? You know that there's no possible way for you to tell your kid something one time and they're going to fix it. And you could say, yeah, but that's because they're a kid. I'm talking to a grown ass person. But you might be dealing with somebody that is trying to make a change, but they have a lifetime of conditioning that makes them do the opposite. So if you communicate it to them properly and you tell them like, all right, like you did this thing that I don't appreciate and it's not going to be a part of our relationship. It needs to change. If they're doing it completely just disrespectfully again because they don't care about nothing that you said, instead of like, oh, they did something that was similar or close to it, and they could take accountability for it, you could have forgiveness. But like that's kind of what I was saying. I was like a one and done. Like I tried dating like 3 different women, and the first 2, it was like that first thing. Like I mean, first thing small, and I just bounced. And the third one, like the last person I was dating, I gave a lot of grace, and then by the end, we just very amicably separated. It was like, look, I think we're just 2 different people. Like you want to live this lifestyle, you want to still act like you're 20 something and do your thing with the girls and go on cruises without your man and all that. Like you have the right to do so, but I'm a family man and that's not what I'm looking for. So let's just be friends and we could part ways.
Yeah, yeah, and I completely agree with that. And that's how I am. I just stand on, there's a few principles that I stand on no matter what. Like, for instance, transparency. I don't do liars at all, no shape, form, fashion. So it don't matter if I express that to you, even though I shouldn't have to, because who likes a liar? But hey, and you lie again, I'm not about to sit here and have this whole conversation with you about. me not liking to be lied to because I
Yeah,
already expressed that to you. And
yeah,
that's something that I'm going to stand on because whether you're trying or not, that means that you have lying in you. You could try all day long. That means that at some point you're going to lie to me again, whether it's intentional or not intentional. And then it's going to be a chain reaction that I'm going to react in. I ain't got time for all that. No, I'm cool.
yeah. That's a strong boundary. That's like a regular boundary. Like lying is like man. When my kids lie, you ever want to see me get real mad? It's when my kids
Mhm.
lie and I tell them, I'm like, you're not telling me the truth. I'm going to give you a chance right now to tell me the truth one more time. And if they try to keep lying, it's the punishment is way harsher because the thing is that like if you become a person that can lie and like be comfortable with it, those people are way more vulnerable to being like abused and stuff because that means that somebody could come up to your child and like try to abuse them without you being around and all they got to do is say like, hey, don't tell mommy or daddy about this, like it's just our secret, and they think it's
Mhm.
okay to do that. And then as they grow, that becomes a way bigger issue. So like I get it, boundaries
Yeah.
like that are like huge. You could bounce, I get why you'd bounce on lying, like for sure. Like my thing, one of the times that I bounced was I had kicked it with this chick a couple times, and it was the third time we're kicking it, and we had a good night. And I had spent the night before, and the second time that I spent the night, she woke up panicking because she didn't set her alarm. She's like, "Oh, I'm going to be late to pick up my kids, whatever." And so the third time we kicked it, I mean, we just finished the whole night. I cooked her dinner. We danced to music on my speaker. We had a great night. And then right before we're going to bed, I was like, hey, what time should I set the alarm for? And she was like, why? You can leave if you want to leave. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you want to leave, it's fine. I was like, no, I'm just asking so that we can get up at the right time. Because last time she was like, no, it sounds like you want to leave. I know you live far. If you want to go, it's fine. And I was like, I'm not saying that, but if you say that shit one more time, I'm gonna bounce. And she said it again. I've started lacing up my shoes and I dipped and we never saw each other again. I just like, because to me, that was like a disrespect factor, but also you're telling me right off the rip, you don't believe or trust what I'm telling you right now. And if that's where it's at already in the beginning, this is not going to be like a good fit. And so I just dipped. Like it's okay to have boundaries like that are strong for sure.
Right, because then messing around with me, I'm gonna start thinking too much into it. You lied then, because if you cared about the alarm, you probably didn't even have nowhere to be. I'm like, I be thinking too much into stuff
Yeah,
though.
but
So,
yeah.
like, so yeah, that's why. Yeah, I ain't got
Okay,
time.
look, listen to this, right? Because like I've got so bad with it. Like I literally had talked to girls who like dyed their hair a color that I did not like. They asked me like, "Oh, would you like if I dyed my hair this color?" And I obviously said no. And they dyed their hair that color, so I broke up with them. So I was like, "What the fuck?
Didn't listen.
Why would you not listen to me when I'm like obviously telling you what I do
And
and
I'm
do
the
not
and I'm
like?"
the boy in the relationship. You gotta listen.
Cause she don't really like you. She don't care about what you want. The dude that she like, he probably like that shit.
Lay it down in this relationship.
Yeah, I mean that's why you gotta leave them. That's why you gotta leave them.
Yeah, you do got to bounce sometimes, man.
Like
Like,
all that trying to make it all happy and make it all good tissues, all you're doing
Yeah,
is trauma bonding with someone at the end of the
yeah,
day.
that
It's like it's not a real relationship. And y'all
part.
talking about like telling the truth and stuff. Like if you're in a relationship and you can't tell the truth, then you probably shouldn't be in a relationship.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right. But people lie in the beginning. Like, they'll ask you what you looking for, and
who's
whatever
that?
you tell them, they'll be that for whatever motive they have from you. And then they'll go ahead and be themselves after that. So in the beginning, I feel like a lot of people lie just because. But people who got real, genuine, like intentions, no, they not about to be that way. So those are the ones that when I was looking, those are what I was looking for.
Yeah, no, you're right. And it's the honeymoon phase is crazy because you could be genuine, but you're like genuinely enamored with the person and showing like the best parts of you. And probably there's a little bit of embellishment there because we all want to try to impress a person to an extent to get them. But like when you do mature and get to the stage where you're like, I don't have to do anything extra to impress you. All I have to do is just like be me. And then, especially when you do things like what we're talking about, Jazzy, like speaking out loud about our boundaries, when you do that shit up front and you just like you kind of sit in the discomfort, which usually doesn't come early on. It might be a few months before stuff like that. But if it does come after a few months, it takes a lot of maturity for someone to be with another person that's already checking them on their shit. It's like, you're kind of like fucking up here and there, but people don't do that. They like the communication is just everybody's offended. Everybody wants to be politically correct. Everybody wants to like keep everybody's feelings in check, and it just doesn't make sense. Like one of the biggest things I argued about with the last chick that I was trying to date, and that I've argued with before on damn almost every woman that I've dated, is like, we've all heard it. A guy and a woman are fighting about something. A man's upset about something that the woman did, and the way that he responds to it and communicates his anger, that now becomes, why are you yelling at me like that? Why are you talking at me? And now we're arguing about how I told you what upset me and not about what actually upset me. And it gets.
It's crazy you said that, because I was gonna say that too. That's
Yeah.
exactly what women do. They say this the tone. Oh, I don't like the tone he's speaking to me in. And so they don't want to hear nothing you got to say. But in reality, that's not it. They just don't want to hear that shit anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I love women, and I think that they are so valuable and necessary to society, like in general, for their own reasons. But I just think that we've fallen really far from women valuing themselves as being women, like what God made them for, what God created them for. It just seems that it's turning into this whole like competition. I don't even know.
Yeah. Yep, that's what I was saying earlier. Women don't value themselves the way that we should. It's just like we love pointing the finger on somebody else. It's just crazy. Like, it don't make sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like it's valid. It's valid for anyone to like be in an argument or something and be like, yo, you don't need to raise your voice, like to an extent, but tone policing gets a little bit out of hand because like it's like we're angry, and when people get angry, typically our voices get elevated a little bit. That's normal. We don't need to focus on the fact that I raised my voice, but I appreciate you bringing it up. So I'm going to bring it down a couple notches and still continue to tell you about what upset me. And if you do that, and then it still just becomes about like how you're talking to them and not about like what you're talking to them about, then you've lost it. You know what I mean? Like I
Yep. And in my course, because I do counseling, we call that the chaos communication. There's people who, when you're upset, there's some people who like to talk about what they're upset about right here, right now. I got to tell it to you. But there's other people who's upset that maybe they don't want to talk right now. They need time to calm down, process, figure it out. So that's another thing too in relationships. Like, you have to figure out what kind of person your partner is. And if y'all communicate differently, then now we got to figure out how to compromise to meet in the middle somewhere. Other than that, we're not going to get nowhere.
Do you do counseling at school or like schools, or where do you do counseling at?
No, I guess for grown people. I work at a school right now though. Overnight, I do security at a school.
Yeah.
But
No, that's cool.
I do counseling for like relationships, sexual, and then just individual, like women's mental health, males' mental health.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah, my ex was a licensed psychologist, which is why like when we were going to therapy, couples therapy together, the couples therapist like eventually just started flaming her for like how unreal her like view of everything was, considering the fact that she was professionally trained like to be able to work through things like this and communicate better, and all of that. But
Yep.
the yelling thing is like a big thing because like I yell at my kids, and I never go a single time without feeling terrible afterwards, and eventually going to my kids and being like, hey buddy, I'm so sorry, I did not want to yell at you like that. Let me tell you why I did, and yada yada. Because it does make them get to a point where if they get scared of your yelling and the way that you react, then they don't want to express themselves to you because they want to avoid the conflict and the yelling. So it's all
Yep.
a whirlwind of communication, but it's something that people should be actively constantly working on, and it's not. People don't.
Would y'all say that a lot? of women are actually childish and not as mature as the as statistics say.
Yes and no.
Because from my experience alone, like I feel like I've been way more mature than most of the females that I've encountered, especially at my age.
I'll say yes and no because there are different parts of the brain that does different things. So for a woman, there are certain parts of our brain that makes us more mature than a man. But when it comes to how we act, that part is a little slower. So yes, women can be very childish in their everyday actions, but it don't mean that they are not mature in the mind, if that makes sense. Like I know what I'm supposed to do,
Yeah.
but instead of me doing it, I'm about to go play and be childish, like that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
true. Y'all could articulate what's necessary and what should be being done better than probably we can. But like
Hmm.
our natural response is to do the thing versus like women knowing what's like it sounds all good on paper, but then they might not do what they
What
need.
I say was, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Knowledge
I think
first, though,
that
not
comes
too
from
good.
like the point of women being able to have a baby at an early age. I think that parts of us is the mature part of our minds, like, but not the everyday just life part.
I got a question if you guys my buddy Kyle's in the comments. He's heard me say this before, but we've probably all heard it. But I do believe this, and I experienced it anecdotally, but I do believe it because I've heard it from so many other people that I know. But men will always typically sacrifice their own happiness for their family, but women are more likely to sacrifice their family for their own happiness.
This is true.
Absolutely.
Look at all the divorce rates and stuff,
Yep, 80% initiated by the women.
and it's all
Yep.
due to not being happy,
But what is happiness?
right? Because happiness could be a lot of things. Like,
Happiness is a state of mind. It's consistently changes. Like you can have a drink that make you happy today, and you can have that same drink tomorrow. And maybe you don't feel as happy as you did. Like that'll make a ground to build a relationship or anything off of happiness.
Yeah,
mhm.
and happiness is bogus to use as a platform to to dictate whether a relationship is going well or not, because you're going to be very happy and you're going to be very unhappy sometimes, and it's just about choosing each other each time and figuring out how to get back to the happy part. It's not like it's the game's fucked up because people think you're always supposed to be happy, and if you're not, it must mean you're not meant for each other, and that's bullshit. Because the people that I've talked to that have been married for 50 years will tell you how many times that they fell out of love. Like, I'm not talking about they were upset with each other, like they felt like they were ambivalent, their love was gone, and they just chose each other and figured out how to get back to it instead of going outside the relationship and seeing if somebody else could do it better or whatever. They just you choose your person and figure it out.
Right. Yep. I agree with that. That's how it be.
I like talking to counselors, therapists, psychologists because um, my mom became a special ed teacher, and she's, like I was saying, very independent, which is what kind of like my attachment identity very much became towards independent women in almost a toxic way. And then I married a licensed psychologist, and then the last relationship that I was in for a little while was also a school counselor who was a psych major too with the masters. And I'm like, I keep fucking finding these women, bro. I need to go find me a fucking like, oh no, dude, I need to go find me a barista or something different. Like,
I mean, but that's real. That's a real thing, and I think a lot of women do that as well. Like, well, I think women pick their man based off of other women, and
I
women don't
think
like each other.
I think women pick their men or pick their toxic traits based off of the relationships that they've had with their father. Hit big time. That's Freudian shit. It's usually men with their mom, but like
I mean,
most
yeah,
of
yeah,
the
that's both ways.
yeah, most of the women that I've met that have bad, like they're not good at like being in relationships or having like or being faithful. They may have had a couple parents that are still married, but they have a bad relationship with their dad. Not that he wasn't there, but just like the dad might have been a little bit more abusive or like gave a little bit of less love, and it becomes what their brain starts to protect them. Your brain gets wired to be like, this is normal. This is what you're used to. And when you start experiencing compassion and affection that you haven't experienced, your brain freaks out and it makes you feel like you're unsafe. So you go back to the toxic thing that you're used to.
But before they go back, I guarantee you there's a woman in their life that promoted them to go back.
Oh yeah, y'all friends are fucked up. Like,
Women don't like each other.
yeah, I don't get that shit because I remember when I seen like one of my ex's friends like texting them like after all the horrible shit that she did, and they were my friends too, but they were still in there like, you know what, girl, so and so went through this before, and when she left, it was the best thing for her. I'm like, you guys are fucking trippy. You're over here telling her to just abandon her family and shit. Like it's a good, like that shit's crazy to me.
Yep, and women listen to that shit. Like, the women be saying it so convincing. That's why I'm like, oh, I swear women should be like saleswomen or
Oh,
something.
they're the best
I'm
in
like,
sales. Women are the best in sales. They are the absolute best in sales.
yes, because that's exactly what the hell they be doing. They sell a storyline and they make it sound so convincing, like, oh yeah, I'm happy. That was the best thing ever, woo woo. But then when them doors close and ain't nobody around, they don't feel that way. But now
Yeah.
you done promoted this next woman to feel like you feel, because misery loves company, and women are the best gatework of that right there. We love spreading that misery around when we not happy.
Yeah, dudes are like, I got homies that obviously that were like, fuck that, bro. Like, you need to just bounce. But I had way more of my closest friends that just looked at me in the eyes and they were like, I already know what you're going to do. Like, you're going to stay and you're going to try to figure this shit out and you're going to try to keep your family together. And they're like, I respect you for that. And I'm not judging you at all. I think you should do that. Like, more so than just the woman who fucked up and her friends are just like, well, you know, it's fine. Like, you should, it's okay if you guys just separate and you just bounce. Like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you're talking about traumatizing a bunch of kids that like have nothing to do with this because you're telling them that they should just go find something greener on the other side. Shit is bananas to me. Yeah.
Man, I don't know if y'all ever had seen that video. It's kind of old now, but it went viral, at least on TikTok, where it was a woman. I think she was in her car, but she was talking about how she'd been married, I want to say at least 10 years. And she was saying like how perfect he was for her. Like, he does everything right. And she was saying how she was so unhappy and she wanted to divorce him. And when I say them comments, we say it was probably 1 million comments, and 90% of them was women that was encouraging her to leave.
Yeah, that sounds like my ex. That's exactly what she told her couples therapist. Exactly all that. There's just a big ass butt at the end. Oh, he does all this butt.
That is just crazy.
I find that if I just don't pay attention to it and just walk away on everything, then they tell me everything that I need to know.
Yeah, that's true. The real colors come out.
For the most part, I just avoid certain conversations with certain women. Like, I just do it just because sometimes just to mess with people. But for the majority part, predominantly, if they're saying like trying, educated, independent, certain things to deal with materialistic or certain conversations that only involve bringing up their scenario on a topical basis of a question that is presented and they're unable to stay on topic or listening. I pay attention to all those factors.
Yeah, it's a blessing when you get to that time when you like finally get to the stage where you just can ignore shit and you don't even want to engage. It feels so good. Like you're like, yeah, you're not
Sometimes you
itching.
just do it just because it just be fun. I don't know.
Like you
They
ever
just gotta
be
see it.
you ever
But
see
other
like a
than that, no.
post or some shit or like a video and it's like something that it like it triggers you, and before you would like always want to jump in and say something, and like you finally get to that point where like it's some super fuck shit and you're like, I want to say something, but you like really just take a breath and you're like, I don't need to comment on this, and you just like walk away from it. It's like, oh, it feels good being able to do that shit.
Yeah, big W for it.
TikTok is a wild place, man. This is a crazy place.
I mean, That's literally every day. That's everybody that's on here. The different personalities. Some genuine, some inauthentic, genuines, and some are copycats and mimics. That's the same thing in
Some
everyday life.
mimics. I was about to say some
Yeah, I
mimics.
just feel like because
Yeah,
this
it's the same
platform is
thing.
so
It's real.
big.
It's real life. It's after a while, it's gonna be a TV channel. I mean, it already is, but it's gonna be like the TV gonna be off, and this is gonna be the TV.
It's damn near already like that.
Yeah.
This used to be an app that people just danced on and shit.
Right.
Chuck, I wanted to ask you something. I had nothing to do with what we was talking about though. You said that you and your wife y'all knew each other since high school. You said.
Yeah, we were friends since like freshman year, and I had like we had just like went and lived our lives or whatever, and I went to film school, and when I got back, I was visiting the hometown. I don't know if it's like this for you guys, but where I'm from, like when you go back to your hometown for the holidays, if you moved away, like everybody comes home for like Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we bumped into each other, and then she had talked about having like an interviewing for internships, and she ended up living right there in the Bay where I was living. So it was kind of like serendipitous, and so we started dating, and then after a year, we had a baby on the way, and yeah, and so like it all felt good because we had been friends for so long, and we were never like on each other's radar or like got at each other in high school. We were just legit friends.
See, I love that. It sounds like a little movie.
Yeah, it felt like a movie, and then it turned into a fucking horror movie by the end. But yeah,
I mean, how long were? So you guys are not married no more, right?
nah, yeah, we the divorce was officially finalized just in January of this
Yo,
year, but
this
we've been
nigga just never
separated for
gave me
like
no
2 years.
contact. Like what?
Okay.
But that's what I was trying to tell. That's what I was trying to tell homeboy earlier that, or I was telling Meech earlier, is like you could do all your due diligence, and sometimes it feels perfect, and still you get, you know, a bad deal. But don't let it change you too much. You know what I mean? That's what I would say. Like change you in a good way to have better boundaries, but don't let it turn you into a cold hearted like person because it's easy to do that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely. Yeah, that's how me and my husband was. We was literally best friends. Like he wasn't my type at all, and I dang sure wasn't his. And yeah, we was literally just best friends, but we didn't date. We just went from best friends to being married. But I don't know. I just think that's how it's supposed to be. Because I feel like when you friends with somebody, like truly friends with them, you are truly yourself, and that person can really see who you are, and you can see that person, and you can really know, like, okay, I can see myself being with this person or not.
Yeah, yeah. That's a beautiful dream for people to have. I think like most people end up having to figure out how to be friends because most people haven't known each other forever when they get into relationships. But if you have that, yeah, like it can be beautiful. I guess like in my situation, what you said was pretty on point. Like we were very much able to be ourselves because we knew each other and who the type of people we were. But we didn't. Well, at least I didn't really like truly like know the darker shit like that was underneath who I knew that person to be, and that's just because those kind of people keep that shit to themselves, or like you said, they're ashamed of it, so they won't like express it, but it's gonna come out eventually. Like if they're a liar or if they're a cheater, like it's just that it's gonna show eventually, no matter how much you think you know somebody.
Right. Yep. That's why you gotta watch them actions and the words together, not just one or the other.
Yeah.
I make sure words match up to actions. If not, then I assume you lying about something somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad I was able to step away from that because I was pretty fucked up from my separation for like a whole year, and I went out and was like a dog, like not a dog, but like I just went out and had fun, you know, for a while and just did my thing, and it took like a handful of like just meaningless interactions and dates for me to be like, this shit is bogus. Like I wanted to prove to myself I could still go out and like
and just like pull somebody and then just have some casual fun. And like once I was like, yeah, of course, like this is easy. And it doesn't do shit. Like it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't do anything. It was easy for me to just like post up and like just be by myself and like do my own thing. But there are good, like genuine, beautiful people out there. And I think if you're like anybody that I hope most people are like this, love should be the most important thing in the world. And if you want that again, you can't get it and have something genuine if you're not willing to go in and risk getting hurt again. It's just like the difference now is that you should know anybody is capable of hurting you. And if you know that anybody's capable, then if it happens, it'll be like a little less painful. But you still got to go in willing to get hurt. Otherwise, you're not going to be authentic and be genuine. You're just going to be guarded and holding shit back. And it's not going to work. It's going to be a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, definitely.
But guys have a hard time doing that.
I think women do too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it Aisha?
Hi.
Welcome in. I don't know what Meech doing. I think Meech sleeps. So look,
I thought the
we're
same
just
thing.
taking over his.
My guy's snoozing over there.
Okay, good. Aren't you cutting me off? Okay. Why do women always blame? I don't know. I think a lot of people lack accountability, and I think because everybody wants to live in the mindset that they're always right and they don't want their ego defeated. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know why. I think that some parents haven't really like taught their children that like, yo, you kind of have to like own up to your mistakes because you can't get around in life without. So, don't know.
Do you agree with the prompt in general that like, because this prompt's basically saying that women as a whole don't take accountability, or is it just more that you're saying like, like in general people don't, or is it, do you think?
In general, but I would say based off of this app, I would say a good handful of women. If we're keeping it mainly on women, then sure.
Yeah, I was just curious if you thought like,
Yeah,
And
I mean,
would you think like, as far as women go, do you think it has anything to do with like? Because another lady said this about like the Disney fairy tales, like we grow up as kids watching.
I would definitely say that, but on top of that, like, when you're like a young girl, your parents teach you like practically your royalty in a sense, and that your man's gonna come and save you and this and that. So I guess it's kind of like the unrealistic idea. I could definitely say it, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even really think about, but yeah, the fairy tale thing is what I always say, because I always have seen that like when women typically tend to like move on, it's when the fairy tale of butterflies disappear, and it's just easy to go, oh, since I'm not feeling the butterflies anymore, it must mean that we're not meant for each other, and that's so false. It's just not like true. And when you stem it back to like what she's saying, the fairy tale stuff, it's like, yeah, because the movies and fairy tales and basic lessons, they teach women how they're supposed to be treated, but not how they're supposed to treat their man. And so men just learn how we're supposed to take care of things and treat women, but we don't even know how we're supposed to be treated. So we'll sit in that disrespect and mistreatment indefinitely, until either the woman leaves or until it just gets so out of pocket we finally decided to leave ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Not
Yeah.
to like, try and change the topic, but I feel like it kind of is like similar to like what you said. I would say that a lot of men don't know how to be treated because men hold each other to such high standards that it doesn't unlock your full potential. I think a lot of men, they're afraid of crying and being vulnerable. And although, of course, you don't want like a man to cry wolf, same with like a woman, but like overall, I've noticed that that's the problem with a good amount of relationships. The man like always thinking that they have to hold the fort up, which isn't the case whatsoever. It's normal to, get emotional and to be struggling. And I feel like that's something, I mean, even for women, that's like an unrealistic expectation. Your man's not always going to be at his highest every single day.
Okay. Would you say that once anything happens in the house, say for instance a baby, right? The baby comes to the father first, correct? Before anything.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, so then the mom comes to who else?
Wait, sorry, repeat your question like at the first jump.
No, I said, so would you say that the baby comes to the father first over the mom in the house at the moment, correct? Predominantly.
I believe so. I think there was like a study done on it that like men are like,
Like for permission, you mean? Like for
No,
something?
no, yeah, for anything, for food, for what
Yeah.
they want to do. Predominantly, they're gonna come to the father first, and then they're gonna, and then the mom's gonna come to the father, right? And you said yes the first time, and then you said you don't know. That's kind of on the second one when you answered after I reiterated the question the same way.
oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah,
Mm.
I did not hear it initially at the beginning. I had an idea of what you said, but I don't think I heard you clearly until you like
So you
rephrased it.
didn't listen to me clearly, but you answered yes the first time. I don't get that.
No, I heard your first question, but I wasn't sure if you were asking me. Never mind.
See?
I
My
think I
apologies.
think she didn't understand the
Thank
second
you.
piece because I
I
could see
appreciate,
how.
no, 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 incorrect, Chuck.
I thought so.
Appreciation. All right, so now if that baby goes to the father first and the father says no, and the baby goes to the mom should already have an answer of what, Aisha?
It's no. It's a collective thing.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. That's all. That's
Good
all.
answer. I feel like Family Feud. Good answer. Good answer.
Just want to see if we're on the same page. Yeah.
Yeah. I think with what you were saying, I'm trying to remember exactly how you put it, but like with men not being emotional, like I happen to be someone that's been described as like an emotionally aware and intelligent person, and I wasn't always that way. And I think it changed drastically for me when I went to film school. I went to film school for acting back in the day, and acting is like a very big practice in getting in tune with like who you are on all levels. Because acting is not pretending. Acting is being that character, being that emotion in the moment, so it's real on camera. You don't just like hear action and they go, all right, you pretend to be mad. It's like, no, you've read the script, you've processed it, and now you're experiencing what happens in the script and what you would how you would react yourself.
Mhm.
And so I got in tune with that a lot more and was able to express myself that way in relationships. But one thing that happens with men is like when we get emotional or express emotions, it gets used against us eventually. Like eventually it gets to be something that maybe on paper it says that it's, oh, we love this and we want the guy that's emotionally blah blah blah. And then in a moment's notice it's like it's such a big like turn off, but it's not because women don't want it. It's just because I think that it's just it's primal. It's like over the course of thousands of years, it just women are used to men not being like that. It's like, oh, there's arrows flying over the wall to our village. The men go and grab the swords and don't think twice and rush into the fight and can watch their friends get unalived right next to them and keep fighting and stuff like that before they feel it, and then we might feel it later. But when we feel stuff and we say it out loud in a relationship, it's viewed as weakness, and that's primal for a woman to see a man that's emotional as weak to an extent, not all, but like a mature woman can see a man that's emotionally intelligent and be like, that takes strength and it takes courage to be able to like be vulnerable as a man. But most of the time we don't, because it gets used against us. And we don't have time to, because we still got to do all the other shit that we have to do as men.
I mean, I can
agree
see
with
where you're
that.
coming from, but I think like when it gets to like a certain point, you know what I mean? Like I think there's, I mean, obviously I can only speak from like young men because I'm younger than most of you, I would assume. But I would say like with the way that younger men are coping with their emotion, I would say that it's incredibly, what's the word, unhealthy. I think like for men and for women, okay? Like obviously again, like I said, you don't want somebody who's like consistently like crying and getting emotional like over, you know, like a constant thing. But at the same time, when it gets to like a certain point, a lot of people don't understand that you kind of have to let it out at some point. If it consistently builds up, it's going to interfere with your work, your family, you know, any type of relationship, and that's the problem.
Are you saying that I sound old? Is that what you're saying?
No, no, no.
I'm
You
just playing.
look young,
I'm just playing.
but
Can
I'm
I
just
ask you
assuming.
for context? Can I ask you, like, you don't have to tell me your exact age, but like, are you in your early 20s?
19.
Okay, so perfect example. So young men around your age, or even a little bit older, they literally just got released out into the world with everything against them, saying, "Figure this shit out." You know what I mean? Like you got
Yeah.
to just go do what you got to do, and and they can't be that vulnerable when you're starting out like that. At least it was for me. Like a lot of people might stay with their moms for super long or whatever, but when I graduated, I got 2 jobs. I saved up money, went to college for a year, and my mom was like, "You either pay rent if you're going to stay here or you go to school full time." And I bounced when I was 19,
Hmm.
and that was it. And I
Yeah.
went out into the world, just figure it out. Plenty of women do that too, for sure. Um, but
I'm.
but
Mhm.
I think that the expectation is that men got to go out there and grind and figure out how to like become men, especially men that didn't have dads, and they lack a lot of nurturing, and then
Mhm.
they get exploited for their emotions. Like me myself, I have no problem whatsoever admitting that I'm a dude that like is not afraid to cry, and that has made me the homie that like my boys will call me. I mean, I have like the godfather of my kids is one of the most like just like men's men you could imagine, and like I'll never forget the day he called me and started crying because he was afraid he was about to lose his woman who he finally like decided that was it, like that was his end all be all. And that shit's powerful. I think men should talk to other men more than we do.
True.
Maybe not as much as talk to our women. I think it's okay to express stuff to your women when it's like, you know, you may express to your woman that you have trauma or something like that, something that upsets you from your past. But like going to your woman and being like crying and being like, "I'm sad because this, and that is not."
Okay. Well, I don't know about that part.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like a man going to his woman and being like, "We haven't been happy for a while," and they're crying about it, like that's a whole different level of like vulnerability versus a man just saying like, "Hey, I'm a little fucked up because I've been through this and been through that," and expressing themselves versus just being, yeah, like
Yeah, and so I like what you brought up because that's kind of what I'm talking about. I'm not really talking about like going off into the new world exactly. I would just say that I notice a good amount of parents. I mean, yeah, a good amount of parents, right? Especially when it comes to a father figure, right? It's kind of, you know, regulate your emotions and try to keep it in, be the tough guy, like you're about to be the man of the house after me type thing, I would say. Um, I mean, I can probably even notice it with some family members too, like not even just friends, where it's similar. And I
right.
think that's a problem, right? Because you should be learning how to express your emotions. Like, you don't have to cry in front of people, that's fine. But at the same time, you know, if we're talking about like young teenagers getting in fights, is that going to help? No, it's a temporary thing. Rather than if you were to write it down or, you know, be more involved in sports. Like there's so many other ways that you can release stress. And I feel like we're not bringing a lot of attention to that.
Yeah, that's huge. Outlets are everything. Like having a passion for something that's outside of like your general day-to-day roles is a big deal. A big deal
Mhm.
for sure. And I think like what Knowledge was talking about and I was talking about earlier though is that like men may express themselves like maybe to an extent, but like the men still got to be men. That's why the kids come to the men because we show strength in a lot of situations where the kids know that they're going to go to daddy first because daddy's going to give them the opinion or the answer that is like law that's going to be protected by his decisions. And a lot of young men can't because I mean I guess like to stay on the prompt too, it's like you were saying, I don't know if it's about being released into the world, but men have this pressure right away that they're going to be the man of the house every day. And we're living in a world now where the men still want to be the man of the house, but it's like almost impossible to find the woman that wants to let the man be the man of the house and let the man lead.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I can see where you're coming from about that.
I ain't gonna hold you. A lot of men gotta start getting homes too.
A lot of
Instead
men,
of,
what?
I said I ain't gonna hold you. A lot of the men gotta start getting homes too instead of going to the women's house.
Bro, for real though.
How
I
they gonna
hate
lay? How they
I
gonna
got
lay
homies
law?
that
They
be
they
doing that
hoe.
shit regularly. I'm like, bro, how do
Yeah,
you keep doing
yeah.
this?
They
Like,
they not your homies.
yeah, bro. I got let me just say that then. An associate, like Buddy has no kids, but he's like the king of finding like a single moms all over. And
Oh
like he
yeah,
just find
nah,
a
I'm
single mom
good.
that has a house, and then he just like be lamped up with her for like a cool year, and then they break up, and then the next time I see him on snaps, like a whole other a whole other single mom with two kids, and he's like
Hey,
holding.
that's another reason why why a lot of women don't have accountability because they done ran off some delusion like that for so long that now they giving it back to the men.
Yeah. Yeah. But we don't have that standard for ourselves anymore as a whole because men don't typically these days go out and just by any means. Like they, you know what I mean? Like it used to be just by any means just get it. Yeah, it's getting lost on the men in our society too. So it's a compounding thing, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, big facts. Yeah,
But social media is poison because
no, it's not.
well, here's why I think it is, but we could
School's poison, church poison. What you mean?
school is for
Doctor's poison.
sure. Yeah. But
your
like
your
the
your
reason why I
auntie,
say social
your
media,
grandma, your
well,
your sister, your mom, your daddy, they can be
bro,
poison.
yeah, you're
So
not lying.
so it
But
ain't about that.
the reason why I say the social media is we have so much instantaneous access to information that may be false or true today. And like I'm talking like I was born in 1990, right? So even when I was like 10, 11, we had like MSN Messenger, you know what I'm saying? Like, and could play Xbox and what have you. And then like MySpace came out. But what were we doing on MySpace? Creating a top 8, putting some fire ass playlists together with like letters dropping down from the screen. Like it wasn't about sharing all the ideas. And then Facebook and everything else, it's turned into a instant information platform where you could be on either side of the coin of what you believe in. And if you want to look for the information about what you think you believe in, you'll find it and you'll think it's fact. And so you have a whole onslaught of feminism that's just pushing through the world, teaching women that they should be boss bitches and they don't need no men for shit. And then you got a bunch of other like basically fuck boys that are saying families, you don't need to worry about families, like do your thing, hit the gym, go to church, and don't even worry about these women. But they're not teaching men to love and also like make a nuclear family important. And it's just like you could see it every day. You just got to swipe your phone screen one time and you get it every day. Just put in your brain. Yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah, I mean it'd be like that, but you just gotta move on and love everybody and just know that you ain't gotta like everybody and everybody ain't gotta like you.
True. Hey, you should be saying that more, bro. That's an easy way to just get over shit. Just say it'd be like that. Cause
Oh, I do, and
yeah,
A lot of people get upset, but you know, at the end of the day, they be like, "Dang, he correct,"
Yeah, for real.
and then I
Uh,
walk off.
I
See ya.
kept telling my boy he was all going through his own divorcing and like pretty down. And he saw me go through my shit, so he saw me in my darkest space. But I told him, I was like, you know what I've been saying for the last year that's just helped me is I just say people suck. Like people suck. You know what I mean? Sometimes you could do the right thing, be the right person, but you're just gonna encounter people that suck. And if you could say that and just let that shit roll off, it makes it so much easier to not take shit personal. It's like people suck, dude. They just be like this. It's like it be like that. It just be like that sometimes. I just hope people go back to believing that, you know, love exists. There's good people out there. They're just a little bit fewer and far between these days.
Right.
Like that last chick that I dated, it was weird because when we came to like a agreeable breakup, our conversation was like, you know what makes this harder is that we both genuinely like have feelings for each other. We love each other, but we also both know that we are so completely different, two different people, that it's just not gonna work. So agreeing together on separating
Will be
because
real.
it's not gonna work is harder than just like walking away from something that sucks. Because when it sucks, you could just bounce and you're like, oh, I'm cool.
Why? So let me. What do you mean? What? Why would it? Yeah. What do you mean? Why would it not work?
Which part? Which part?
Why wouldn't it not work?
So, like, for example, let's say you get through your honeymoon stage, where, you know, a month or so, however long, where everything seems like it's Gucci.
Oh, forgive me. Why wouldn't it work? Because let me ask that question.
Go ahead.
Now I'm saying, why wouldn't it work? Because you're two opposites.
I mean opposites with like boundaries, like we were talking about earlier. Like in my world, I'm a single dad. I own a house. I have 3 kids. I'm a family man. I still like to have fun. I got 50-50 custody, so I have free time for you know another person and all that. But I'm not I'm not jiving with the idea of being with a woman that still prioritizes like trips to Vegas with the girls and cruises to Cancun with just all the girls and like almost and like wanting to go to the bar when every weekend that she's not with me and like just going out and doing stuff like that, and she's taking it as like, oh, I'm being controlling and not trustworthy. And I'm just like, no, it's just you're exemplifying actions and behaviors that are befitting of someone that's single. And I know how the real world works. The more that you put yourself in a position to be tempted, the more likely you are to succumb to temptation. And it's not that everybody will, but I just don't see how it makes sense for someone that's in like a devoted relationship to want to get dressed up in a tight dress and go out with half her friends that are single and go get drunk and get hit on by dudes all night and just have your man kicking it, like, you know, having to just sit at home and be like, oh yeah, like it's cool, she ain't gonna do nothing. Like, it's not my
Yeah.
lifestyle. And I had set that boundary, and it just got to a point where it was like, she's like, oh, I prioritize my friendships. You know, they mean a lot to me. I'm like, that's amazing. Like, I do the same thing, but I go backpacking or camping with my homies when I want to go get some friend time in. I don't go wild out at the club or go fly to Vegas or go on a cruise with just all the homies and leave my woman behind. And it doesn't mean that she's a liar or a cheater, but it's just not what I like want. And so she's like, well, that's those kind of things that I like to do are just like a part of me, and I would be losing myself if I didn't do that. And it's like, all right, well, cool, this ain't gonna work. All right, cool, we could just be friends then. Boom. And just
Now I was just asking that because I was gonna say like opposites attract, and so do certain traumas that are in similarities attract to those opposites for that very reason, that help you heal from your trauma or learn from your lessons from your trauma, or um, actually give you clarity from what is actually being done, because they have a part of the piece that you have, and you have a piece for them.
Yeah. No, you're right. And I think that's why I went from like laying my boundaries down like around like, month 2 or something like that, when I was kind of seeing what was happening. But I stuck around for like 4 more months because, like what you said, I took it as like an opportunity for us to learn from each other and to see if like her values might change if she valued me. If it became to the thing like, all right, well, this is a part of my life now, and this is my person, and I'll prioritize them and what's important to them. So I gave it some grace, for a while. But when it wasn't really changing, we just had that conversation. And then that's when we ended it. But like the opposites attract thing, I think it caters more to like if you have someone that's like organized and like cautious, but then you have the other person who's like a little bit more free spirited and willing to like take more risks and like it'd be adventurous. Those things might go well together. You balance each other out. But if you have two people that just have like complete different like looks on how to like be in a relationship or live, I don't know if that's necessarily the same as opposite. I don't know if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nah, that's just doubt.
yeah.
That's just doubt. You just breathing in doubt more than the responsibility of just saying, hey, this is her life anyway. She gotta deal with it. I'm not the one that's getting hit. She is if it happens.
Yeah, true.
That,
But
that's a possessive thing.
you could choose though, but men should be possessive, right? I mean, that's how I
Nah,
feel.
nah, in a sort of sense. Only in the nature of in the element where you're there with your woman, because she's supposed to carry you with her, and you're supposed to carry her with you wherever you go.
Right. Yeah, you can't be tripping. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you're right. You shouldn't be sitting at home tripping and wondering and worrying. But you could definitely have the, just like I said, like the notion that like I'm not tripping. I really don't even think you're doing anything. But I do think that if you just continue to go out every weekend without me, and you go on 2 cruises a year with 5 girlfriends that are half single, and you want to go to Vegas 4 times a year just with the girls and stuff like that constantly, I still may not be tripping, but like you do expect that woman to carry you with them at all times. But like, how many times do they got to be somewhere where you're not at and be carrying you with them? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
that's an that's why I said it's doubt, right? Because that's an allowed decision from the jump. So, and that's a boundary of yours that you set, and you still allowed it to be broken. So
yeah,
that's something that you accepted on your own, and have
yeah,
nothing to do with her. She was doing what she wanted to do already. She just found you in the circumstances and met you in the circumference, and your atoms were there.
yeah. You're right. Actually, I mean, like I said, when I say I gave it grace, that was an easy way for me to basically say I allowed some shit that I told her I didn't or wasn't comfortable with, because basically, this is like, guys do this a lot too. I was like under the notion that I could basically like she would like change to the lifestyle, not change like herself, but like want to live the lifestyle that I was wanting if I just like continued to be a good man and like loved her through it. But that's not fair to a person that is who they are. And so I allowed it. You're absolutely right. But like at the same time, like you said, if that was my boundary, I should have just stood on it and then just bounce when it wasn't happening, instead of just like sticking around and, like you said, doubting. Like, yeah, that's facts. But I don't think that's controlling of a person. I think that's preference. It's like when people talk about body count too, right?
No, it's controlling. I've been
Yeah.
there. It's
Yeah.
controlling because you just keep pursuing the element of wanting someone needing someone to do something because you feel it's fit for you, and it's not fit for them. They don't want to do that. They want to do
What?
what they want to do.
Real quick, it's on restriction. What do I do?
You got a restriction right now?
Yep.
What does it say it's
Damn.
for?
Uh, you're live restricted comments. So low quality content.
Oh, damn, that's a terrible. Damn, they're basically saying that your live ain't shit. I've never heard that one.
I don't think it's that.
Nah, no, that sounded funny to me. I don't think it's that. the fucking algorithm was like, bro, this shit's boring. You're gonna have to wrap it up, or we're cutting it. That's fucked up. I don't think it is boring, by the way, but I don't know. The only thing I've ever heard with restrictions is if it's something that'll get you like banned, you just end the live and then start it back up again.
Oh, so shit. So I mean, like the restriction gone now, but so what so
If
like
it's
do I
gone,
gotta
then
get
you.
it
If it's gone, you good.
okay?
Yeah, it
It's
doesn't sound like it was a
it's
bad.
probably just inactivity from when you was on mute.
Oh yeah, it might have been you because you were ghost for a while.
Oh, was I?
Yeah, we thought Jazzy thought you were asleep.
I probably
I mean, I
was.
did.
I mean, I kind of did too, but you don't snore if you sleep.
Yeah, like I had my shit on mute. I was asleep though, no lie.
Yeah, I feel it. Nah, I think you're all right. Most of the restrictions I've ever got were like the bad ones, like somebody said something they're not supposed to say, or like you said something you're not, or like you've seen something on camera, but like we haven't said nothing inappropriate for a while, so I'm not sure about that one.
Right. See, TikTok. See, they think they slip because they used to, like, for example, when I got suspended, me and Jazzy was talking, and I brought up about like Diddy and Cassie. So I went on about it. So next thing you know, TikTok they just stopped my whole life.
I mean, made me mad.
Yeah, I mean, this account that I'm on right now, I use it just to jump in lives like this to have cool conversation. But I still do a live every once in a blue moon. But I get like no traction anymore because I got restricted like 5-6 times in a row, and even when I was like better at being careful with like language and you got to change your settings every time. For me, I have to do it every time. I have to go to the settings and click the button that says like 18 and older and all that, and then you get more like leniency. But after that many times, I went from having like 50 to 100 people, whatever, in my lives to zero. Like it would only be people that I invited. So it's that TikTok's kind of bogus for that. They'll like, what do they call it? Like they'll blacklist you basically, and like unless you start getting a lot of engagement again, your account can get cooked. I don't think yours is, but it's worth being careful for sure.
Damn, like I forgot to do that. I forgot to like go to settings and click on 18 and over.
Yeah, but you should be good because like nobody's had their cameras on, so like nobody's like twisting something up or like drinking something or anything that could be seen. So that's like a big one, and then nobody in here is like using the inappropriate language. Like Jazzy seems to know how to say things like schmecks and what have you instead of the other words. Like everybody's kind of seems pretty well. Like
Oh,
okay,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I got enough TikTok experience.
yeah, yeah. I made a backup, but it's weird. I think TikTok knows like my backup is connected to this main, so my backup wouldn't get that much traction either. Still,
Damn.
yeah, you got to create like a whole new account with a different email and like all that.
Hey,
Yeah.
I just do random lives, and I know for sure that it's gonna be good, genuine people coming in. We're gonna have fun, listen to some music, smoke out,
Hell yeah.
talk about whatever. I don't host no topics unless some people want. I just do music choices.
Yeah, those are fun. Sometimes the best conversations come out of those, though.
Oh yeah, it's about fun. Tired of sometimes too much integration about the you know
Yeah.
dynamics of verses, and I ain't got time for that all the time.
Well, yeah. I mean, the people that go live consistently that do it for, for like for money. What up, Coach? They have to they have to keep the consistency, and so like you go live like every day or as much as you possibly can, and so like a lot of people will do stuff like rage bait topics that they don't even really believe in because they know it's going to get them like interactions. But like I never did that shit either. I was just like would post a live up and yeah, just let people chat. Coaches are always fun.
Yeah, knowledge knows that. Most do it for yeah, I mean some is acknowledgement, but yeah, help and healing. That's true too. Oh, bro, this topic here. Let me follow you, host. I'll follow you. I saw knowledge up here. I saw Chucky up here.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So why do women always blame men? Never take accountability. I mean, how's this been going for a little while? Or you just get started, or where you at?
It's been a minute.
Yeah, like
It's been a minute.
it's been about a few hours now.
Really? Oh wow. Sometimes we get into this. There was once we talked about. I don't know if anybody else was there. We talked about who's to blame when it comes to the toilet seat being up or down. It's like women blaming dudes. Like, why can't you put the toilet seat down? Like, it ain't that difficult. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. You're like, you're right. It doesn't take that much time. So why don't you just look before you sit and then put it down? Because it is simple. Then put it down. But yeah, well, I mean, that might be one stupid like example of it. But I honestly, I don't know. I think because I think women want men to always be kind of on the lookout. There used to be a time where it's like, chivalry or whatever like men were always looking out for women's safety or well-being or happiness and whatever third thing. And now that's just gone. So maybe instinctually, that's maybe where that comes from.
Why is it gone though?
I don't know, society, like the different, the different ways that people think, well, we don't need, because actually, it's a good point. It might be because at some point, a subculture of women decided that we don't need men. So men decided to stop being that type of man that would be the person who's always looking out for the woman and trying to be chivalrous and whatever, because like, well, if it's not going to be appreciated, then why bother?
Dude, are you a carpenter? Because you
No.
just hit the nail on the head, brother.
Oh, this guy. I didn't see that coming. I've heard a lot of them, but I did not see that one coming. Maybe, I don't know. What is so there is, one female up here who might could like share her opinion.
That's you, Jazzy.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm playing a video game too. I'm listening though.
Hell nah.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I'm not even listening to you, men. I'm just fucking playing GTA.
I got a new game I've been playing, but yeah, I guess you missed my take on it, but I just think that women live in a fairy tale pretty much from how we was raised, and we don't value ourselves the right way, so we don't take accountability. It's easier to blame somebody else, and women want to be equal to men very badly. So like the example I used earlier with Chuck was pretty much if women see a team playing offense, she'll get mad and be like, oh, I want to play offense too. Like when you could just play defense. Like our roles don't have to be the same to be equal. They want to be equal. Like whatever a man do, they feel like they could do.
So if you were trying to talk to a dude about something that might be, an interesting or serious or, pseudo serious or whatever, just chatting up like this, but like, hey, sir, I can't really pay attention to you right now because I'm over here in my video games. Like, do you know how much heat a dude would take for the same thing?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, a lot.
But it's okay then when women do it, or where are we at now?
I don't know who said it was okay, but no.
It's not a big deal as long as somebody like like they still listening and shit. That's all. You can like multitasking.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's a big deal, but I just like, not in this context. This is, TikTok live, but I'm just saying like, it was trying to, be like a serious conversation. and you're trying to lock it down, hold it down, whatever. But somebody's kind of just distracted. Like it doesn't feel like you're that important to even be listened to. And somebody's like, okay, I'll listen to you, but I'm in the middle of a game right now. Let me get to a save point before you start talking right now.
I mean,
It was
yeah,
like,
I like
really?
talking to people.
Yeah, like really get to a save point. Like, why don't you like check back into reality and see where your save point is? Because your save point is going to be when I pack up my bags and leave the house. And then you'll be talking about, dang it, I wished I would have just dropped that controller right now because I got effed in the A with that one because it will be, and that's going to be your legacy. Well, he didn't really want to have a serious conversation. He was just sitting there playing his video game, so I packed up my bags and left because I guess he doesn't care, or vice versa. Then how important was that save point? How important was that video game or whatever you were checked into? That's what I'm saying.
If the person was playing a video game before you wanted to start talking, how important was it for that conversation for you to be had? Because that person was already not giving you their undivided attention. So that seems like you seem more caring about yourself at the moment just to speak because you didn't want to be heard. Because if you wanted to be heard, you would have waited when that person was able to give you your undivided attention. If you cared about the point.
Exactly. And if the person cared about the fact that you were bringing it up in the first place, they would qualify you as the most important thing in their life and not diminish you or put you beneath, demote you to lesser than a video game.
I think it depends on what game we're talking about. What game are you playing there, Jen?
Yeah, that might could be true.
I'm playing 7 days to unalive. I can't say that.
I was gonna just say this though, and this doesn't always matter, but like to be fair, because it's been going for a few hours, like you came in and like we're all kind of just like reiterating like the points that we made. So she might have checked out because like we're just kind of having the same like conversation. But Jazzy, you are the only woman on this panel, so you kind of have a responsibility here to give us cavemen some women perspective.
I mean, I understand. I just be at work, so if I ain't talking, I'm very bored. I'll fall asleep. I'm here until 7 in the morning. So
Wait, you at
I
work
mean,
and playing video games? That is the best job on the planet.
Yeah, what
yeah.
How you getting paid? How you getting paid to play video games right now? Where
y'all
where do I
hiring?
sign up for that job? Dang.
Are you guys hiring?
We are.
Well, shoot me a fucking DM to the link for the company. I'll apply right now.
I mean, it's pretty easy. Like I said, I work at a school, so everybody sleep. All the kids, they should
Oh,
not
that
be
makes
up popping right now. They should be nice asleep.
I'm not gonna lie. When I was my senior year in high school, I knocked out so much of my like credits early. Like I took AP classes and stuff. So by senior year, I only had like I think like government econ, um, uh, what was it like physics, and I didn't have to take math. So I forget what the other one was. But then all I had was electives and free periods. And so I was like at two TA classes and like a free period in the morning to go to a college class. And I literally just sat in the locker room and played PlayStation 3 for like three
We
periods.
didn't have no PlayStation when I did the same thing though. So like most of my creds were done, and I had those 2 periods that you're talking about, but I used those for work experience because I got to check out after, or I mean, I guess at lunch, before lunch, to go, start my job. And then one every Monday, I'd have to come in at like an hour early to fill out like, what did you learn at work and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
You're all like, well, when you flip the burger too long, it takes a yeah.
I mean, no, I worked at Lucky's. It was a grocery store, and then it's long gone now. But I mean, bagging groceries. That was also. I worked at Magic Mountain. Was the first job. You guys know it's like a theme park thing in California,
Yeah, Magic
like
Mountain. Yeah, I've been
yeah,
there.
roller coasters. Yeah. All right. So I worked. That was the first because Magic Mountain will go and actually recruit at high schools. So I worked there. That was the first job I had, and then yeah, just I don't know, checking in every Monday. It's like I didn't like that. I didn't like having to wake up at 5 a.m. to be at school at 6 o'clock in the morning on Mondays.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mine was first period was the free period, so you could take a college class if you wanted to, like the local community college. But they didn't ever check if you actually were in a class, so I didn't have to go to school until like way later. And then I had PE for second period, and then the TA class for third period, which was a TA for PE, and my PE teacher was my football coach. So second and third period, he would just let me sit in the locker room and play PlayStation in the office. It's pretty sick. And then I just had like art classes and drama and shit like that, and yeah, it was easy. Senior year,
That sounds cool. Yeah.
it was a breeze for senior year to graduate with a 3.8, and people are like, "Oh man, you got good grades." I was like, "Don't." I mean, I'm smart, but like this, don't give me credit for this year. This year was like, I think I might have drawn pictures with crayons my senior year at some point. Like, oh, she's tapping away.
Oh damn.
Yep, working that D pad now.
Mad zombies in front of her right now.
Hell no.
I'm about to pause it. I was just trying to grab my backpack real quick.
I never heard of that game.
It's actually pretty fun. It's boring but fun.
Kyle, this fool said sorry about your ED, like your education, bro. That's fucked up.
Kyle, come join the conversation.
Hey, I did do that. I don't know if anybody else did college or little college, but like I got in all my basic classes, which is so bananas that you finish high school and then all over again. They're like, all right, so here's a bunch more basic education classes you have to take in order to like get your degree. And slowly but surely, I just kept dropping all of my classes for like art classes, painting. And my mom's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I was like, I don't know. I'm just fucking. I like these other classes. Might major in art." She's like, "How about you minor in art and major in psychology?" Because I was going to be a psych at first. I did like stats and psych 101, and then I just dropped college altogether. I was not about it.
Okay. I did psychology was my major.
Yeah, tough class, but like funny class. One of my psych professors, I was like, "This chick is Looney Tunes. I don't understand this." Right, it didn't make sense. But
I took a psych class in high school, but basic shit.
Yeah, my psych 101 professor like was a very energetic South African woman that she looked like her eyes were popping out of her head like 24/7, and she just spoke hella passionately about stuff, and she would just go off on tangents, and I was just like reading the curriculum so I knew what homework I had to do, because she would like forget to assign homework and tests and shit. It was tough class.
I had a theater teacher like that. We never got shit done because you could just ask the dude a question and it's like, there goes the whole class, dude.
Oh, I love being that guy, dude, when you learned to do that. And like you become the guy that's like, let me just ask that one question and
we'll fix this right now.
Yeah. No, I took ancient art history 1, and then I got so into that I took ancient art history 2, and then painting class from that same guy, and then I was in a monochromatic art class, and I just all in art classes all of a sudden. Before I knew it, I was like, oh fuck, I think I'm majoring in art on accident right now. It's not
finger painting.
No, monochromatic finger painting. That would be sick, dude.
Cutting edge.
Finger painting.
Yeah.
What up, Nikki? What do you think about the prompt?
Yeah, another one.
Hello.
Not me, he said.
I don't know. I don't like it.
Why?
I don't like it very much.
No. Not in a defensive way, but I just think, I mean, people should take accountability, but, this is focusing on women. So, I think it's the fact of egos, right? Admitting that you're wrong is like, nah, I'm gonna unalive on this hill with my pride because I need to be right. And I think, I'm gonna be honest, I think a lot of women do this thing of like guilt tripping their partners so that their partner concedes and apologizes, even though they haven't necessarily acted entirely correctly. Yeah.
I think that is the difference. Like, men are also not good at taking accountability in certain situations, but it's like they won't make you think you're guilty. You know what I mean? Like, they'll just leave it be.
Yeah.
And women
Well,
drop it instead of like,
Kyle, I disagree with that because men they take way more accountability than a woman.
oh, I'm not saying. I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
saying they
because there's a
don't,
hidden agenda.
but I'm saying like they, it's like people in general, aren't the greatest at it in a lot of cases, and like I feel like even in the cases where men aren't taking accountability, it's like they will at least like just let it be. You know what I mean? They won't be like, and now you have to apologize to me for this. Like,
Yeah, yeah. You will be surprised. I done seen it on here a lot.
Hey, Meech, I think though what he's kind of saying is that we may take accountability, but we'll take it up with ourselves. Like we'll like talk to self talk and be like, yeah, like you might be you fucking up right there, but you don't want to be over here like admitting and like being like vulnerable enough to be like, oh yeah, like that was my fault. So we'll just like let shit slide off and then let the argument go and let it roll off our backs more than
not gonna give her the win.
I
You know
think
what I mean?
it goes on to what you guys are saying. Women do want to know that you have you've learned from your mistakes. No, but I think they have this thing of like really wanting to feel heard, and so it's like I guess they push this on to men to like I don't know. I guess if you go back on the idea of emotional and they feel all these emotions and it hurts them and so forth, I guess they're over repetition, they're over wanting you to apologize, they're over this and that. I think it's just to like reinforce their mind more than I'm going to patronize you right now. I think it's more for themselves also. So the same way you guys are saying, like, if you guys fuck up, you guys are just going to take it for oh my God, you guys are going to take it for yourselves. But I think for the women as well, it's this thing of if he says it enough times, I'm going to believe it. Rather than
Yeah.
I want him to apologize to make me feel like I'm a baddie. I don't know. Or power tripping.
It's
But
gonna
I do,
drive the man nuts, is what it's gonna do. Like I can't stand that when it's like, all
yeah.
right, you made your point, and now you're like, we're going looping back around again. We're going back around. You're gonna say the same thing, and it's like that's like makes me not. You know what I mean? I just want to throw my hands up at that point. I'm like,
yeah.
drives me crazy.
You're doing just fine, by the way, Nikki. You were stumbling there on your words. Don't worry. We fucking all of us
Yeah.
trying to like PC the fuck out of our words for TikTok language is really difficult.
Really frustrating to be being mindful of the censorship because else I'd have been like, fuck this, fuck now, blah, blah. But
Oh, you could say all
I'm
that.
very
Just
bad
there's
at it.
other words.
but yeah, no, I don't know. I just think we operate a bit differently. We want more reassurance, and we do that by repetition. And it's the same reason of if you've ever watched a woman go through a breakup or she's got a problem, she will be saying it 100 times until it makes sense to her. Whereas you men are like, right, yeah, this happened. Okay, move on.
It
Let
is
me
what it
watch the
is.
football. Yeah. You lot are like, fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah, you're right. That we talked about that earlier. Women will almost like convince themselves of like whatever makes them feel better about the breakup happening in the first place by repeating shit to themselves or with their friends over and over. Whereas a guy will just be like, "That was pretty fucked up." All right, well, I guess
Women all,
I'll just deal with it. Fucking.
yeah.
But you kind of did answer to the prompt in a little bit of a way of a like agreement to the idea that we're different. That's what we were mostly saying earlier. Is just we just do shit differently, like, and it stems from what we've just been conditioned to do in general.
Yeah, for sure. I also think it's not as. I keep seeing this trend. It's not a trend, but it's coming like a trend of it's creating like an absolute parallel, like a dichotomy almost. Like it's very much like all women this, all men that. And I'm like, that's so weird because even men that I've had friends in the past, like family, they don't even fit into this kind of thing. And I don't know, I'm really, it's not worried. I just think that this TikTok brainwashing nonsense is creating a lot of frustration and hate onto people. And every now and again, I know nobody wants to hear me say it, but I just think it's important to sometimes think, holy shit, yes, I keep seeing the same things on and on.
it doesn't necessarily make it more true. However, I need to be aware that, you know, I could be falling down a slippery slope, because or else you can get, pardon?
I almost blame people for that though. Like it's like, the like pushing towards the extremes where it's like, can we not just have these rational conversations without like every dummy coming through being like, and now I'm far this way. Like it's like, dude, like chill out. Like we're just
Yeah.
having discussions about these subjects, and like just in having them, people start dividing themselves.
I would say this is an example of a conversation where people can be led to learning and like having like different
Yeah,
perspective.
this one.
I think the topic in itself, obviously, immediately it's like women, women this, of course. And I don't think that Meech is doing this, but a lot of people do this as rage bait to get engagement, and
Yeah,
may
to
not
blame for.
necessarily like believe it. I do think that there's a lot of men and women that believe that the accountability factor on the women's side is very low. But at the same time, like one of my topics that Alexis, Kyle, you've been in Alexis's before that she does is about misandry, and it'll say like misandry is so in vogue, and it's same on this topic because like more so than ever, you have more women in the world that are basically saying like men ain't shit and blah blah blah, but you see it more where on social media platforms. It's not like in the news, it's not being taught in schools, but like the amount of women that are coming to panels, podcasts, and discussions and saying like they don't need men, they could do whatever men can do, blah 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 blah. Instead of it just being like we're different and it's okay that we're different. It's the consistency and the immediate access to that information that like brainwashes people, because if you're left or right politically, or you're mean or kind or whatever, you're gonna find whatever the fuck it is that you are in your algorithm, and it's just gonna be an echo chamber where you believe it more and more and more.
Which I'm not looking for. It's like I'm looking to push myself, and like just expand my, boundaries of my ideas and shit. Like I'm talking to myself most of the time, really.
Yeah,
Well,
you
like,
gotta talk to someone intelligent. I don't blame you. But being malleable is a sign of higher intellect. So when you're capable of understanding different perspectives and putting your ego aside and your arrogance and being able to listen to those things. The best way I describe this is the whole the whole Andrew Tate movement, Uncle Sam
Oh my god,
posters.
nerd.
Oh, buy this product. It's going to make you more youthful. Please buy it. Oh my God, my skin has felt so much better. Buy it now for $10.99. Like people are not seeing it in that way. But the more we endorse the things and the rage onto, yeah, us baddie women, go get our bag, Clarky, doing all of that, the more there's
yes,
viewership.
queen.
Yes, the more viewerships there is, the more propaganda there will be. It is just as simple as that. The thing is, it's not like that. When you go out shopping and things like that, when do you ever come across a woman who goes, "Yes, queen, I'm going to get my bag. F
Nah,
man,
you'd
F
be seeing that
man."
shit
Sometimes
kind of a
here and
lot,
there.
honestly, here in California. It's kind of like
Really? Bro,
kind of
if you were to
terrible.
do that here, you.
Well, that's a fake plastic fucking shithole you're talking about there.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely is. Like in full agreement. I think honestly, well, before I say what I was going to say right now, to what you were saying, being malleable, that's why I like the conversation me and Knowledge had earlier, because he checked me. He was like, "So what you're saying is that you set a boundary and then you allowed it to be broken and stuck around and allowed it to continue to be broken. So you had doubt instead of standing on your own too with the boundary that you had in the beginning and just walking away." That's something where I was able to go, you know what, you're right. That's the conversations that are deeper on here than just rage bait conversations where people argue back and forth and nobody gets anywhere. But yeah, the other thing about the baddies and chicks saying that here, yeah,
Where they at though?
it's rampant with the younger generation. For like, it's insane. When I hear it out loud, I'm like, is that fuck? I thought that's real. I thought that's just shit that you hear on like fucking like the whatever podcast, a bunch of OnlyFans chicks talking to each other or something.
Dude, what scares me? It's kind of off topic, but like doing like a DoorDash or something, like I say I have to call somebody for their order because there's some issue. Nobody will answer the phone. Everybody's scared to answer the phone, and I'm like, what is wrong with people these like they can't speak to somebody. Like they're like all like socially anxious or whatever the fuck it is, but it's like it's your food, dude.
Yeah.
It freaks me out. I feel like I never thought I'd be this guy where I'm like, what the hell's happening to the world in technology and shit?
Me either, bro. I just wanted to like buy land and horses and just like be a hermit with like a good woman and kids somewhere and like grow
You can
vegetables.
still buy a land and have horses.
Oh yeah, no, I can, but like when
But
you
the
when you're
AI
not
will come.
when you're not there yet and you're like you bought a house in town because that's like all you could get, you're like, fuck, I'm still in this fucking rat race. This sucks. And yeah, you're like stuck. But yeah, I don't know. It's dating sucks these days. Just all of it's so warped. It's yeah.
I don't know, a bit of positivity, attract
No,
positive
no. I
energy.
know what you're saying. Put yourself on the right frequency for sure. I get it.
Bro,
But
for
like,
sure. Like,
I,
I know people don't want to believe it, but when I was all like sad and in my feelings, to be fair, I did have a really bad year last year, even though I graduated college. Really
congrats.
bad year, but it doesn't matter. I was in my feelings. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to sleep and work. And then after I was like, you know what am I doing? Life is going by so quickly. I blinked and I was like, oh, great. I've just wasted 3 months. That's crazy. And it was so quick, but in the moment, it felt so slow. And then, it doesn't help that where I am, there is seasonal depression because we don't see a glimpse of sunlight, and it's a blessing when we do.
What part are you in? I mean, it's everywhere over there, so I guess it doesn't matter. But
I'm in the south of UK, so it's a bit better than the north.
yeah, no,
It's
I
a
agree.
blessing to see darkness too.
I agree with you with the positivity thing. I think like if I can say something like dating sucks objectively, and then know that going into dating with positivity and be like, the pool's kind of shallow, but there's some good ones out there. It's like having that kind of objective
That's like a
reality is okay.
primitive But I'm a monkey mindset. Like, why do you have to need to go into dating? Why is that like a necessity to you?
Oh, I don't think you do.
Well, that's
I
a
don't.
problem.
Yeah,
Why
I
can't
don't.
you just have true, real relationships with women? Yeah, I think that's a problem in itself. Is people are trying very hard to date. It's like,
Oh,
dude,
I think the dating word
I
gets
feel like the
mixed
best
up.
relationships just kind of evolve naturally, you know? Yeah,
I
bro,
think
you're
dating is
45
mixed
years
up, but
old,
I get what you're
confused,
saying.
bro.
Go
You're
ahead. Go ahead.
45 years old, confused about this.
No, I'm not 45.
Obviously,
I'm
it
not
gets
45.
mixed up for you.
I'm not 45. I'm 35. And I think that you're just
Same
taking.
thing.
Yeah, you're taking. Damn it. Fuck. God damn. That shit.
It's all good, but
That one
bro,
hurt though. Hold on.
this is how it is, bro, and there's no refuting it. You love a girl, she loves you. If she don't love you, move on, but still love her. If you really do love her, don't, this dating, like, this framework of, oh, if my girlfriend does this and this and that, and then my boyfriend does this and this and that, I won't fuck with him no more. It's like some Love Island bullshit. So that's the whole
Love
argument.
Island
Can I
bullshit, no
respond to that?
way.
Actually, can I respond to that?
Yeah, Nikki's my girlfriend, by the way.
Oh, perfect. I agree. I agree with everything that you said, and I actually like. I think when the word dating gets brought up, it makes people immediately think you're talking about like going and like playing the field. I just meant dating in general, like when you are starting to try to put yourself out there again to maybe like find someone or even let it happen organically. The people that you end up interacting with are like it's very. A nuclear relationship is very underappreciated, so you encounter more people that are like treating it like it's fuck all and then like taking it seriously.
I actually have an alternative opinion.
Hold on, let me land my plane real quick.
Go ahead.
So if I have been in a situation where I dated someone for sake of saying and I like them, it's a wrap. Like I don't talk to nobody else. I treat it seriously, and like they got my full attention and like authenticity. And I also agree with what you're saying. It's not always about like what they do and don't do for you. Once you get to the point that you're with them, you just choose each other every day and you figure it out together. But there should still be boundaries that can't be crossed for you, so you don't end up in one of the relationships where you're with somebody that's terrible for you and you just fucking waste 4 or 5 years of your life.
No, that's fine. And you cross boundaries, I cross boundaries, our girls have crossed boundaries. And that's right when I joined the live, like seeing darkness is a blessing type shit. Like, we shouldn't be locked into a single relationship our whole life if that's not God's plan. Like,
we should just follow God's plan. And you know, the ups
There.
and downs in a relationship, it's a blessing, bro. It's a trip. It's not, you know, just like sunshine and rainbows, but it's
Fuck
a
no,
trip
yeah.
and it's great.
I agree. I agree.
There's kind of a natural evolution of relationship.
Wait, my bad. Nikki, she have a question for us, for
Yeah,
us men.
What's up,
thank
baby girl?
you. I was just thinking, right, it was the terrible time last year for me. I got into politics, got into law, got into, what do I explain? Writing, doing art, gym. You think of it, cooking, getting better at that. You can always get better.
That's
I
sick.
just thought, right, hobby, all of this. I'm just wondering, like, how do I wear this? Oh, how do men like process bad energy or breakups or sadness? And so, do you guys fuel it into something, or do you guys try and box it and put it under the bed type of thing?
Feel it into
That's great.
something. 100, yeah,
Yeah, you
100%.
should. Most guys don't anymore.
Or
But
they'll
you should.
self-destruct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Physical activity.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. There's
Working
no
out.
other. Yeah, that's it. You
Yeah.
either you feel it every neg. That's why I like mixed martial arts, exercise. I like those hobbies
Yeah.
too, because you know when other people are gonna do those hobbies and they're complaining like, oh, it hurts or this and this and that. I don't know. It's like alchemy. It's hard to explain. It's not alchemy. I'm a Christian. I don't know if that word's perfect for it, but every negative experience, if you process it properly, like correctly, it turns into something positive. So you should really feel blessed to even be able to process. You should feel blessed to suffer. Like you're still here. You're a
Well,
beautiful
yeah,
ass girl, so you
I
should
mean,
not be suffering.
without that, there is no happiness.
Is
It's
the
like,
word
it has to have its opposite.
I think I know the
Happiness
word.
isn't even that's not the
Yeah,
point
it's
of
not even a
life.
real thing.
Happiness.
It's like a fleeting moment.
Yeah, I think the word is transmutation. Like if you can transmute like a bad
It's hard
experience.
to explain the universe with English words, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's how I saw it. But yeah,
Interesting.
guys do it. I'm surprised that you said that you did all that because that was like
Yeah,
that was
that's a
like
lot of
thing.
hobbies for a woman.
That's a shitload of hobbies. Like damn, like I got a handful, but I don't.
I
Yeah,
feel like that's a lot of
You
women's
should
problem is they
try
don't
all
have
the
enough
different
hobbies.
arts. I swear to God, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Like
music's
for
for
sure. I
everybody.
I've
have
painted.
tried it, like
I'm a tattoo
everything.
artist. I
Oh,
painted.
really?
I
That's
make
cool.
music. Bro, it all correlates to each other. You learn like when you learn about what your taste means, what it
Yeah.
means to have a taste in something, and what that means is you do something and some people will like it, some people won't. And a taste means like it's like your comprehension of like it's a bad word. I'm not explaining it perfectly, but you get to decide who cares about it and do you care and why, because you won't care if an idiot is hating on you. And
Yeah,
Yeah, for
that's a
sure.
lot of
Palette
what
sucks.
art teaches you. I don't know, I just say do art, period.
yeah.
That's about
I
it.
was telling them that earlier, real that like when I became a lot more emotionally intelligent, it was when I went to film school for acting, and then that translated into everything because like I play the keyboard a little bit and I draw and paint too. But I'm also a carpenter, so like there's art in that. Like I build shit, but it's like an art, you know, like when you complete
There's
something.
art in everything. People don't get that. I've been talking to some of my friends recently. They've been going through a little bit of a hard time, but shit, they're really turning up, man, because I don't know. I've been telling them about it. It's just like there's so much art, like Picasso. The reason why Picasso is a famous artist, he's the famous painter. It's because nobody appreciated him until he passed away, and he kept on painting and he kept on making these paintings. And the toughest and coolest thing you can do is keep on fucking painting while everybody says your painting sucks. And then
Yeah.
everybody will appreciate it one day, or they'll appreciate it a little bit, and it will plant a mustard seed to make other people more happy and
For
more
sure.
artistic.
I
Why
mean, I
but
was
why a
gonna come
mustard
to.
seed? Why mustard seed though?
Because that I'm explaining stuff through scripture, because
Oh,
scriptures
that makes
are,
sense. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Never mind.
and that's the
What are you
best.
saying,
I
Nico?
can't explain it any other way. That's the perfect
I mean,
word.
I wanted the reason why I asked you guys this question, and one, it the reason why I have a bunch of hobbies is because Dad Dad
moment.
wanted a son, so I learned a lot of masculine things. And when the bonnet was propped up of the car, I was the Pixar headlamp because I used to move a lot. So he used to prop that on me and told me to stand still and learn how to operate, learn how to change car filters, learn how to change a tire, do all this stuff.
Oh, that's the
It's
end of the world. I got something for you. There's somebody exactly like you, except a little fatter and uglier, that's jealous of you. And there's somebody that's jealous of that person that's missing a leg. And there's somebody that's jealous of that person that's missing two legs. And there's somebody that's jealous of that person that has terminal cancer that's a quadriplegic. And there's somebody that's jealous of that person that's mentally ill. And there's somebody jealous of that person that is passed away and doesn't exist. So like that's cool, and I totally understand that shit sucks, but have some type of gratitude. Like
exactly.
you're
And what I was
beautiful,
gonna say,
Nikki. Is that
yes,
actually? You're so fucking beautiful. Chill.
I'm
Stop being so
chill.
fucking.
I'm being
You're like
chill.
you're trauma. You're trauma dumping.
That's not trauma dumping. I love
You're
my
like all
dad.
my fucking friends. Chill. You're all right. I promise you,
Nah,
bro.
that's not trauma dumping. Love my dad. He taught me things the harder way, but you know what? Deserved it. But
That's a
what I was going
dad.
to say is the reason why I asked you guys this question is because escapism is a massive thing. People just think it's through doing smugs, alcohol,
Derealization. Yeah,
but
that's
it's
been a couple
also
years in
using
my.
social media, right? Using social media as a form of escapism. To a certain degree, we want to find people who understand us, understand our pain, and feel respected and heard. Now, I I dislike escapism. I think it's a cowardly way out. It's personally my own opinion. I do understand why people do it, but it's more destructive in the long term rather than sitting in the shit and like plowing your way through it.
Yeah, because
Well,
you've
we
seen
do
those
that all the
older
time
people. You've
anyways.
seen
We
those
have
older
to.
people on here, but I've tried to do that, bro. You explained it perfectly. I've tried to do that on this, but everybody kicks me or talks shit, and it just strengthens my mindset. It's not escapism. It's just like it's kind of interesting to speak to a lot of these people across the world and kind of learn about like, damn, everybody really hates me no matter what I do. And the only people that love me are my fam and some of my close friends. Nobody else is ever going to give you any type of recognition. They're not gonna fucking support you or care about you at all. And then when you're low, you're gonna get to see all these type of people that are like, oh, I hope you, especially on TikTok, these fucking pathetic losers, right? That they're gonna be like, "Oh, I hope you get better. I totally understand why you are an alcoholic. You should keep on drinking because I totally understand." No, I don't understand, bro. Man, like the people that love you, they're gonna be like your dad, Nikki. They're gonna tell you, "Hey, stop being a dummy."
I ran into this escapism thing with we were talking about music, and it was like people bitching about political slants in like songs or something, and they're like, "Oh, I listen to this for escapism." I'm like, all this fuck. I'm like, you guys sound like a bunch of fucking women, dude. Like, what are you talking? Like escapism, like this shit that we're talking about, that they're talking about in this song, is like the reality around you. Like,
That's
what are
what it
you
is,
fucking?
bro.
Where are you
Because
escaping
just
to
like
all the
Jesus,
time? Like
like
with your fucking music.
yeah, I love
Got
music
two
too. Music,
two points
music
for
for
you,
me is
Will.
I do too, but
escapism. That's absolutely what it is. Because if everybody chose to not cave into
I think
escapism and
it's
they
more
actually took
I think
responsibility
it
for their
grounds
lives
you
and
though.
their
Like I think
jobs,
music
we
grounds
would
you
not
in
need to
the
do that.
reality. Like for me, music grounds me in the reality of my situation a lot
Yeah.
of the time.
Well, that's what cinema does for me a lot too.
Me
Good.
too.
Cinema's the exact opposite of that, bro. They're
No,
literal
I
no.
think it's both.
actors.
Yeah.
Well, you could have that opinion. That's fine. But there's certain cinema, not all, like not
That that's
anything,
that's why our community is
but
fucked
good,
up. Is
but
because
good
everybody
stories. Good stories.
everybody
Let me finish,
bases their
bro.
fucking
Let me.
their opinions on life on fucking like movies
No, no.
that
I'm
are
talking
false
about. You said
and made by
escapism.
fucking Jews.
Hold on. You look. You
Wait,
said
wait,
escape. Wait. Real. Chill
you
for a
gotta
second.
relax, right? You gotta
Yeah,
relax.
I had 2 points to make to you, but I'll
No,
drop
no,
the
go
cinema.
ahead.
Yeah, I'll drop the cinema thing. But I was talking about real good stories that you could just escape into, where you don't have to think about anything because you're just like lost in a story, not like something that influences you, like Lord of the Rings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something like that. But two things I wanted to say to you.
Good
I don't
stories
know
are
if this
sex.
makes me sound like a pathetic piece of shit, but one thing I will say that's to your like to a compliment to you is if people hate on you on this app or wherever,
it's because you came in the way that you came at me. But I didn't get mad. I listened to what you had to say and then responded to help you understand me better. But you came in at me like, bro, you're 45
No,
and you're
I
confused.
totally didn't.
You ain't gonna
I
ruffle
totally
Chuck,
didn't think
dude.
you were mad at me, and I also didn't care.
You gotta let
Yeah,
him finish, bro. You gotta let
no,
him
but that's
finish,
cool.
real.
But hey, but that's cool because I respect somebody that could like say something like that to me to make me think for a second so I could reprocess how I spoke and then let you understand a little bit better, whether you care to understand or not. And then the other thing that you were talking about of being like the pain being a blessing is the same as like the book of Job. Like when everything that Job went through in his like life, he's like, why me? How? I've done everything. And God's like, bro, don't you understand that I'm doing this? Like I'm giving you the grace to be able to fight through this. You got your strength through me to grow and be better from this. And I
The
do
cure
believe in
for
that.
pain is in the pain.
Oh, totally, bro. I didn't even think you were mad. I don't care, bro. I've been attracted, like, I've been getting jobs and shit. It's been going great. The less you care and the more you're genuine. I've been telling that to my friends too. And, bro,
Yeah.
we're turning
Yeah.
up, like, getting, clean cut, fucking getting pretty swole, doing our fucking thing. The more
Good.
you're
Good.
genuine, like, you're going to be actually passionate and happy about what you do if you're genuine. You have to play the game here and there, but no, don't just be a fucking lying son of a bitch. That
Yeah.
you're not gonna attract the people that you want. You're not gonna get the job you want, or you're not gonna do what you want to do.
Yeah, that's why I said I respect the way that you came in. Like, I know you don't give a fuck or whatever. I don't really give a fuck either. But like you said, people don't like you. That's because if you talk, if you just say what's on your mind or on your chest with a tone that people don't like. We were talking about tone policing earlier too. Then people might not like it. But like that shit doesn't bother me. That's why I just like I said like yeah.
The TikTok police, bro. I've been kicked out of maybe 2,000, like dead ass. Probably 2,000, 1,000 lives when I was in my alcoholic. I'm still kind of getting it. I fucked up my back a little bit. I'm healing.
It's also hard when you
But
can't
like,
see
bro, I
somebody's
just want
like
y'all to take note of how
inflection or
people.
face and
Here you go
stuff.
ahead. I'm sorry.
Yo, real man,
I'm
you
saying
got.
like it's
I just
hard to
came back
read
from
people.
suspension, and I'm not gonna get another suspension again. So you kind of like gotta relax.
I don't know how
It's
you
also
you've
like
been
easy to
suspended.
misconstrue people when like you can't see their like facial expression. I think that's a problem with like text messages and shit and people communicating like that way all the time because I think our brains are kind of wired to like take shit as like the most negative way we can in like a survival mechanism thing where we're like, okay, what's the worst this could be? And like you instinctively think like, is this person mad at me? And like you kind of take it shitty versus like, their tone and their like inflection and their facial expressions would not
Mhm.
well, that would like, that would land that thing smooth as butter, but like you read it like, oh, the red flags are going off.
Yeah.
You
I've been
you
booted a
cannot
lot for
tell
like
what
that shit
somebody
too,
actually
real.
means unless you see little micro expressions. Like
Exactly.
there's little nuances to psychology that you can get on here, and that's cool. So you just can't care. You just can't care. But in real life, like if you want to tell if somebody likes you, you can't listen to a word they say, or if they smile at you, they might not be happy. They might be pissed at you. Oh my God, I've seen that so many times. But it's the little micro expressions and nuances, like the little millisecond of, oh my God, do they look angry for a
Funny.
second? Like that they might fucking hate you. Like it's so hard
Yeah.
to deal with a lot of
And
people. That's why I
pattern
love God.
recognition too. Like when they do that shit, like often you're like, why do you seem like you're a little bit fucking irked every time I say something about me winning? You're like, I'm sharing a win with you.
Yeah, bro. No, I swear to no, that hit a spot. You have to trust your intuition, bro. I have not been like cut somebody off if you even have a bad feeling about them, fam. People do not trust their intuition, and it's so fucking annoying.
It's
And
always right.
it causes them to have so much ego.
Yeah, it's always right. It's always when you go, I should have trusted my gut. It's
I'm
always
an empath.
It's
Empath,
like, dude, you're not
maybe.
an empath. You just have the same instinctual like
No, I'm an
pattern
empath, bro.
recognition
I
as
wish I
we
wasn't
all do.
though.
But Kyle's heard it probably a handful of times. I think Meech was in my live, but we were in another one next to each other. But I've been booted so many times because I'll wait until there's a hella serious situation and then I'll say a joke at the worst time because that shit's so funny to me. And then
It's
boom.
funny, right? No, it
That's when
is.
it's funny.
That's alchemy. That's how you turn a bad situation into nothing, because if you can't control it, like, you know, joke about it, and then you could turn it into dopamine and laugh about that shit, and you turn a bad situation into a good
Wait,
That's what
wait, wait,
healing
wait,
really.
wait,
can
wait,
do.
wait,
Is
wait,
make
wait, wait,
jokes.
wait. Real quick, we got Alan and Aisha.
Yeah, let's derail the
What's
whole
they take?
conversation. Do
What's
you
they
hear how these
take on a
fucking idiots
prompt?
run their lives, bro? This
Aisha's
shit's
back.
crazy.
Yeah, I just be on
Hey,
mushrooms all the time. That helps.
there you go.
Yeah, psilocybin,
Diddly.
do it here and there. I don't microdose it. I don't think that's super healthy.
I liked it. I did it for like 90 days. It was kind of fire.
Damn. I mean, yeah, maybe.
Wait.
Hey, wait. Let's stop the whole
Where Alan go?
conversation
See,
and let
see,
Aisha say her stupid ass
There's
point.
motherfucker.
What's up,
bro. You gotta
Aisha?
be respectful,
Let's
bro.
hear you stutter and ramble real quick, Aisha.
Bravo, you're really not having it tonight.
It's every night.
Okay, well, I've already spoken, so it doesn't matter.
Well,
She
damn, he just shut us all up and stopped our conversation and fucking put us
Bro, I
in.
don't know who you're pulling an attitude with. I'm not even approaching you in a hostile or
It's,
aggressive way.
I'm not
it's the
approaching you in a
host, bro. He just
hostile
wants to
way,
let everybody get
Aisha.
a chance to introduce themselves and then go back to the coma. That's all.
Yeah.
It's already derailed us, bro.
right
It's
because
okay. But I like y'all, bro. I'll see y'all guys.
because she missed out on the conversation.
She.
Aisha Melly, like take it away.
Oh, he dipped.
What did I say earlier? I don't really know. I
But
think.
you wasn't on here earlier, was she?
Yeah, she was. She had a good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
She had.
think you was asleep, Meech.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were asleep. Yeah, I forgot. You were asleep.
See, like y'all can tell me.
Yeah, she had some solid points. Actually, so
Damn, like how long like was she on then?
not that long though.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's why. Shit.
How long was my nap for? Is what he's asking.
Yeah.
He was asleep for about
How long was
25
that?
minutes.
Like 20 minutes. Oh, that ain't shit.
No, it was long. It
What's
was
the
longer
last
than
time
that.
that?
It was like
It
almost
was
close
longer
to.
than that.
It was like close to an hour.
Damn.
My ex-girlfriend's name was Aisha. Is it Asia?
Aisha.
Hers was Asia.
Yeah, Aisha.
Hers was spelled that way, but it was Asia. Is how she
Oh,
goes.
sick.
Wait, is it Aisha or Aisha?
Oh, it's Aisha.
Oh, that's different. I have a friend named Aisha that spells it the same way.
There's like so many different ways to say it. I don't even correct people anymore. It's so funny.
She's like, I don't even fucking know, really, dude.
Yeah.
His name's not even Kyle, so you know what I mean.
No. Well, my last name's fucking goofy, dude. People don't. It's like Hoosier, like the tires, but it's not spelled that way at all.
Yeah, I kept calling Me-Meechie Meech, and he kept going it's Meechie. I'm like, bro, it's got to be Meech for
Me-Meechie.
me.
Yeah, it's Me-Meechie.
Yeah, it's just hard to keep going
Me, me,
Me-Meechie.
me.
Yeah, I feel like
Me-Meechie.
I feel like I'm doing a vocal warm up every time I try to say your name.
Me, me. Ballerina cappuccino.
Oh, hell no.
Bravo, you're a troll.
Nikki, you said you're from the UK. Is that right?
A third of myself, yes.
A third? How does that work? What happened?
I think he meant from like where you live. He's like, you're split in thirds. What does that mean?
I'm gonna start calling like Nikki Nike.
There you go.
Yeah, go for it.
Like
so it's
Key
a
and
third
Peele?
because two parents can be half split in one country, right? And then they both have different countries. So if that makes sense. So like if you have like
sure that
English and
happens everywhere,
French,
right?
and then your father's French and Portuguese, technically it's a
Yeah, I
third.
get that. Damn, I'm 6 different countries then. That's crazy.
No. Yeah, whenever my attitude comes out, they're like, yeah, you see, it's because you're Portuguese, French, and English. And I'm like, well, y'all be pushing my buttons. Astrology?
You're a Taurus.
I'm not a Taurus.
I am.
I don't fucking know about any of that.
Where the Taurus gang at? Let me know.
Right here.
I'm a Taurus too. Where y'all at?
May
Yeah.
16th. May 16th.
Top right corner. That's
I'm sorry to hear that, y'all.
What the hell going on?
A Ford Taurus.
Ford Taurus right here.
Ford
Taurus in the building. Taurus season.
I'm
Yeah.
hilarious. What's that mean? Is that you guys want to fight about it or what? What are we doing?
Dude, I don't know, dude.
Oh
That means
no,
I
stop it.
think that means you're gonna have a pretty like horrible life. That's what
Squirt.
Oh hell no.
that's fucked
Nah,
up.
Libra men have something up their butt every time.
Scorpio men for sure. The uninvolved ones.
Man, that shit
The
ain't real.
villains.
That's
Yes, it
wild.
is.
Look,
Oh my
I
god.
said the reason why I say it ain't because I believed in it. Not this is how much I believe in it. I'm not even lying. I have a giant ass Taurus tattooed on my back. It's my first tattoo I ever got. I used to think of
Wait,
that shit.
do you have a picture?
Dude.
I'll see if I can find one. But
How about I'm psychic and you all are Tauruses though? How's that? Like,
yeah, well, we knew that already, Kyle.
Now we all.
I did. I knew it.
Taurus
I know
about
you.
greatness. Shout out to Chris Brown. Shout out to Janet Jackson.
Shout
Well,
out to The Rock. What do you
The Rock
mean?
too.
The Rock.
Greatness.
Taurus.
but
What
I'm a
you
bull.
May
Yo, The Rock.
7th. What you talking about?
Greatness.
We in this shit.
Bro,
Hey,
I'm a
the reason
bull.
why I
Shout out
stopped
to all
believing
those
it though,
single people you just named.
the reason why I
Look at
stopped,
you. Look at
hey,
you.
that's
Look
not
at
fair.
you.
Jesse.
All those loners.
That
He's
ain't
so
fair.
catty.
All right. Now we're gonna get into whether we believe in Rihanna or Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh no, please no.
I
nah.
don't
But the
know.
reason why I stopped believing it is because when you look at descriptions of Tauruses, it says that they're all like they love like the luxury, lavish, materialistic, and like that. It's the opposite of what I am. And then some girl was like, "Oh, that's because you have a different moon rising sign." I'm like, I'm over it, dude. I
You're in
can't learn all this
denial.
shit.
Oh yeah, dude. I have like an app. Hold on, let me find it.
No, we
Oh,
ain't
I see it.
doing
Here we
Yeah,
go. You're
that's
about to
just
get
bananas.
Yeah,
analyzed.
Chuck, you need to know your moon, your rising,
You're
your
about to get
Mars, your
astrologized.
Venus,
that. Hey,
your
Chuck.
Sun.
I
Hey,
just like,
Chuck. You're about to find out you're the Avatar in a minute. Watch this. Right? Just
bro,
kidding.
You
No.
are
bro,
the
Hold
one.
on, I got it.
bro. I'm
Holy
telling you,
shit, you know
I'm the
Kung Fu.
last airbender in this
Right.
bitch.
Like.
Dude,